This page features the cover of BeepMD magazine, highlighted by a charming image of Sonic the Hedgehog dressed in formal attire, standing among Oscar-like trophies, signaling the highly anticipated results of the '93 Mega Drive Academy Awards voted by the readers. The cover prominently announces the winners of the Reader's Choice Poll for the Best Software of 1993. Key highlights include a special feature showcasing Sega's spring lineup of new titles, featuring games like Crusader of Senti, Outrunners, and Eternal Champions, alongside Wing Commander on the Sega CD. The Mega CD section also covers titles such as Microcosm, Heimdall, Dungeon Master 2, Shin Megami Tensei, and Urusei Yatsura. Dear my friends. Additional features delve into Sega sports and Disney games, plus a significant focus on Tengen titles, introducing 17 games including Versus 5. There's also a teaser promising further reports on the upcoming Sega Saturn console. This page prominently features two very different titles for the Mega Drive. At the top is a powerful display for Art of Fighting, known as Ryuko no Ken in Japan, highlighting the game's protagonist, Ryo Sakazaki, alongside a stylized dragon. The text Invincible Dragon and references to a dragon and tiger underscore the game's martial arts theme. Below this, we find details on Devil's Course, a 3D golf simulation game. The accompanying screenshots give a clear view of the game's perspective and graphical approach to bringing the golf experience to the console. This page effectively showcases a contrast between the intense fighting action of Sphinx Hit and a detailed sports simulation from Spin and E-Soft. This page is dominated by the intense artwork for Art of Fighting, known as Ryuko no Ken in Japan. The large illustration features the protagonist Ryo Sakazaki in a dynamic pose, alongside the dramatic Japanese title which translates to The Strongest Tiger. Supporting text highlights the game's themes of fighting and the power derived from anger, stating, "They were the strongest in the world," and mentioning the game's mechanic where anger turns into a fiery power. The page also lists the game's scheduled release date and price. In the bottom section, there are brief mentions and images of the Sega Arcade Power Stick and the compact Mega Drive 2 console, noting their availability and prices. This page is an advertisement for Disney's Aladdin action game on Game Gear, showcasing Aladdin and Jasmine and mentioning its release date and price, promising action faithful to the film. This page features a lineup of upcoming games and hardware bundles. Dominating the left side is a look at Battletoads, the crazy action game known for its wild combat and challenging levels. The page showcases the distinctive artwork and gameplay, highlighting its release in January. On the right, the spotlight is on Riddick Bowe Boxing, a sports title featuring the famous boxer. It includes screenshots of the in-game action, details about its two-player communication mode, and a large, impactful photo of the man himself, emphasizing the tough road to becoming a champion. The bottom section highlights special Game Gear bundles. There's a Sonic and Tails pack, featuring the latest adventure in the Sonic series, and a Mickey Mouse's Magical Crystal pack, showcasing a classic Disney title. These bundles offer the portable color experience of the Game Gear console, combined with popular software. This page dives into the world of Japanese political satire, with the featured Mega CD title, Ishi Hisaichi no Dai Seikai. Described as a house of gags and a treasure trove of laughter, it's a stinging gag simulation of a bizarre political world from the mind of Hisaichi Ishii. The screenshots show off the game's pixel art style featuring various character portraits and simulation interfaces, giving a glimpse into the unique gameplay. It was scheduled for release on January 28th, for 7,800 yen. Also highlighted is the upcoming Mega CD release of Wing Commander, the classic space combat simulation from Origin Systems. It was slated for a February 25th release, with the price yet to be determined. The bottom section features Sega's hardware lineup. The compact Mega Drive 2, a 16-bit powerhouse, was available for 12,800 yen. Its essential partner, the Mega CD2 attachment, which adds COM capabilities, was priced at 29,800 yen. For a more integrated experience, the Victor Wonder Mega RGM2, a combined Mega Drive and Mega CD unit with a built-in cordless controller, was listed at 59,800 yen. This page features Konami's Hyper Dunk, the playoff edition for the Sega Mega Drive. Promising an intense basketball experience, the game boasts speedy and exciting gameplay focused on powerful battles, explosive dunks, and non-stop action. A major selling point highlighted is the ability for up to 8 players to compete simultaneously using a multi-tap, encouraging team-based play. The game also features immersive sound effects via the OPCM system to enhance the atmosphere. 3 small screenshots show the gameplay perspective. Hyperdunk. The playoff edition was scheduled for release in March, priced at 8,800 yen before tax. The page also includes a mascot character illustration. This page features the cover art for the Sega Mega CD game Urusei Yatsura. Dear My Friends, developed by GameArts. The illustration depicts a group of characters from the popular series gathered around a feast of food items, including watermelon, taiyaki, and what appears to be a large fish or monster in the background. The main characters are shown engaged in activities like preparing food and eating, set against a white background with a large tiger-striped shape behind them. This artwork serves as promotional material for the game. This page features the exciting announcement and cover art for the Sega Mega CD game Urusei Yatsura. Dear My Friends, the vibrant illustration depicts many fan-favorite characters from the classic series gathered for a celebratory feast, including Loom in her iconic tiger bikini, Ataru enjoying some food, Shinobu with a piece of cake, and other familiar faces like Ten and Ryunosuke's father. The background features elements reminiscent of the series' chaotic and fun world. The accompanying text highlights the game's key features. It boasts the appearance of a massive roster of 120 characters from the Urusei Yatsura universe. The game promises rich anime-style visuals for both gameplay and demo sequences, bringing the lively animation of the series to life on the Mega CD. A major draw is the recreation of Tomobiki Town within the game, allowing players to explore the iconic setting. Furthermore, the title includes full voice acting, immersing players in the character's world, and supports the Sega mouse for control. Developed by GameArts, the game was announced with a provisional price of 7,800 yen, though the release date was undecided at this time. This page serves as an exciting preview for what promised to be a faithful and comprehensive adaptation of the beloved anime and manga series. The next page is a preview for the Sega Mega CD title, Dungeon Master 2, Skullkeep. The large, impactful text at the top reads, "When the world's balance is shaken, the door to nightmare opens." The page features the game's logo prominently, set against a dramatic backdrop of a castle silhouette under a lightning-filled sky. The accompanying text describes the game as a 3D real-time RPG on a grand scale, boasting enhanced realism compared to the previous entry. It emphasizes strategic battles powered by advanced monster AI, and the inclusion of natural phenomena like rain and lightning, moving beyond just stone dungeons to include dynamic outdoor areas and even alternate dimensions. Below the main artwork are 4 smaller screenshots demonstrating gameplay elements. One shows an ominous castle visible from a garden, highlighting the new 3D outdoor environments. Another details the trading system, where players can acquire items from monster merchants not just by finding them. A third image showcases an intense battle scene, mentioning the improved monster AI that demands more strategic combat. Finally, a screenshot illustrates the unique spy feature, allowing players to send a spy monster to scout the maze or retrieve items. The game was scheduled for a March release with a price of 8,800 yen, excluding tax, and supported the Sega mouse, promising an immersive and challenging dungeon crawling experience. This page features previews for 2 distinct Sega Mega CD titles, scheduled for release. On the left is Microcosm from Psygnosis. The text highlights the game's unique premise, set in 2051, where a corporate battle spills into a miniaturized fight inside a president's body to remove a mind control unit. It boasts super realistic visuals created with a fractal engine and powerful 3D animation from graphic workstations. The screenshots show the distinct, organic-like environments encountered during this internal conflict. On the right is Heimdall by Core Design. The preview describes the game as an action RPG, where the protagonist, Heimdall, must recover 3 sacred treasures stolen by evil gods as part of a divine mission. Key features mentioned are the immersive real-time battle scenes and an innovative map system utilizing a quarter-view perspective. The accompanying screenshots illustrate both the inventory/status interface and a battle scene from this perspective. Both games are listed for a February release at 8,800 yen. This page is an advertisement for Aerobiz Supersonic, known as Air Management 2 in Japan, a business simulation game from Koei. The artwork features sharp-looking business executives and an airplane, illustrating the theme of managing an airline. The game is available on both the Mega Drive and Super Famicom platforms. According to the text, players take on the role of an airline president in a glamorous industry, returning with a scaled-up sequel set on a vast global stage encompassing 57 countries and 89 cities. The goal is to aim for the top position by managing the airline and related businesses. Screenshots showcase the game's interface, including global maps, route planning, and financial data displays. The Mega Drive version is highlighted with a scheduled release date of February 18th. This page showcases the Tatsujin control pad, a high-performance controller designed for the Mega Drive. This isn't just any standard pad. It's built for serious players looking for an edge. The main focus is on its advanced features. It boasts a rapid-fire function capable of an astounding 30 shots per second, which is selectable per button, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, and can also be set to a slightly slower 10 shots per second. It also includes a unique two-stage slow-motion mode, offering 2 different levels of slowdown to help you navigate tricky situations. The controller is also fully compatible with games designed for both 3-button and 6-button configurations, making it versatile for the entire Mega Drive library. It works across the classic Mega Drive, Mega Drive 2, Terra Drive, and even the Wonder Mega. This peripheral was available for 3,480 yen, excluding tax. There's also a smaller ad promoting a fresh, cleaner lens cleaner, specifically for the Mega CD, priced at 3,000 yen. This page serves as the comprehensive table of contents for the February 1994 issue of BeepMD Drive. It outlines the exciting features within, starting with a new software scramble covering recent releases like Hyper Dunk, the Playoff Edition, WWF Royal Rumble, and various sports titles. Following this is the B-Mega Hot menu, delving into popular games such as Streets of Rage 3, Castlevania, Bloodlines, listed as Vampire Killer, Flashback, General Chaos, and Fatal Fury. A major highlight is the 1993 Mega Drive Academy Awards special feature, where the results of the reader poll for the best software of the year are revealed based on over 4,000 votes. The magazine also features articles focusing on specific genres, including an emergency proposal discussing Sega's sports games, and an I Love Disney Character Games section, covering titles like Aladdin and other Mega Drive and Game Gear Disney collaborations. Mega CD fans aren't left out, with the Mega CD Press providing news on new releases like Dungeon Master 2, Shin Megami Tensei, and Lords of the Rising Sun. Additionally, there's an embedded appendix dedicated to Tatsujin Stuff 100%, showcasing 17 titles from Tenjin. The rest of the contents lists various columns and regular features covering news, reader interactions, specific game analyses, and more. This page presents a significant report on Sega's highly anticipated next-generation console, officially announcing its name as the Sega Saturn. This feature reveals key details that differ from previous rumors, confirming a powerful system debuting in the fall. The article highlights the Saturn's architecture, featuring a dual-RISC CPU and supporting both Crandrum and room cartridges. It delves into the technical specifications, including graphics capabilities and the 2x speed Crandrum drive. The origin of the name Saturn is also explored, linking it to Sega's history and the solar system. A table summarizing the main technical specs is included, outlining details like the CPU, memory, graphics, and sound capabilities. This page dives deep into the technical specifications of the newly announced Sega Saturn, building on the initial reveal. The editorial team presents their understanding of the console's architecture, highlighting the impressive dual SAISH 2-RISC CPUs, each capable of 50 MIPS, combining with auxiliary processors like a DSP for a total of 7 chips working in parallel. This complex setup is key to achieving advanced graphics and sound. The article confirms the console will feature a 2x speed CD-ROM drive, noting it includes its own dedicated Hitachi Shi-1 CPU, referred to as an intelligent CD drive. For audio, the Saturn boasts a dedicated 68EC000 sound CPU, capable of PCM32 channels, or FM8 voices, promising rich and complex in-game soundscapes far beyond previous systems. Crucially, the magazine confirms the Saturn will also include a cartridge slot alongside the CD-ROM drive, offering flexibility for developers and catering to games with different data and processing needs. This detailed breakdown, accompanied by images of the console and a chip, solidifies the Saturn's potential as a powerful next-generation machine. This page continues the deep dive into the Sega Saturn, focusing heavily on its graphical prowess and the types of software it will enable. The article emphasizes that the Saturn's graphics are a generational leap from previous consoles, highlighting its dual CPU setup dedicated to high-speed graphics processing. It boasts a potential palette of approximately 16 million colors, with each primary color supporting 256 levels of brightness, allowing for realistic photos and video. The article details the Saturn's impressive 3D CG capabilities, including the ability to generate 900,000 polygons per second, calculated value, with features like shading, texturing, mapping, and surface processing, making advanced 3D games like the Virtua Fighter series achievable. It also notes support for semi-transparent effects. Regarding software, the magazine states that the Saturn's capabilities go beyond just speed, enabling advanced 3D graphics and video playback. 4 main types of games are anticipated: enhanced traditional games, like Outrunners and Dark Edge; next-generation 3D CG games, emphasizing polygon rendering and shading, with arcade ports like Virtua Fighter expected; hybrid games blending 3D and traditional graphics, like backgrounds rendered differently; and games leveraging full-color video playback, potentially supporting interactive movie experiences. Screenshots on the page likely depict examples of these game types, including what appears to be a racing game, a fighting game, and a city driving scene, showcasing the diverse graphical potential. The article also includes a speculative image of the Saturn console itself, noting the potential design of the Crundrum player and cartridge slot. This page delves into the current sales landscape and popular arcade titles for Sega fans. The main feature is the top 15 game sales chart for the Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear platforms. Taking the top spot is the interactive movie title Night Trap, noted for its experiential value despite its controversial nature. Aladdin for the Mega Drive secures the second position, praised as a solid Disney adaptation. Following at number 3 is Shining Force 2, highlighted for its increased volume compared to its predecessor. Other high-ranking games include Dark Wizard at 4th and Street Fighter 2-Plus, likely Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition, at 5th. The chart continues down to the 15th spot, showing a mix of genres and recent releases. Below the sales chart is a look at the current top 5 popular arcade games. Leading the pack is Sega's groundbreaking 3D fighter, Virtua Fighter, described as incredibly realistic. Namco's impressive racer, Ridge Racer, takes the second spot, followed by Sega's light gun shooter Alien 3, The Gun. Rounding out the list are Capcom's Super Street Fighter II and Stank's Fatal Fury Special. These charts give a clear snapshot of what was popular in both the home and arcade markets at the time. This page focuses on user anticipation for upcoming and wished-for games on the Sega platforms. The first major section lists the top 20 games users hope to see ported, drawing from arcade hits and PC titles. Leading the wishlist is Sank's popular fighter Samurai Showdown, followed by Fatal Fury Special and Capcom's Super Street Fighter II, showing a strong demand for more arcade fighting game ports. Other high-ranking wishes include the space RPG Star Cruiser 2 and the simulation game Princess Maker series. Commentary highlights the growing trend of Sega porting its own arcade hits, noting the recent release of Outrunners and the confirmed port of the puzzle game Tancher, which is celebrated with a screenshot. The second main section reveals the top 15 most anticipated new releases for the Mega Drive and Mega CD. Sega's groundbreaking 3D racer Virtua Racing takes the top spot, generating significant buzz, followed by the realistic Formula One World Championship 1993 and the action RPG Popful Mail. The anticipation list includes several Sega first-party titles, demonstrating excitement for their upcoming lineup, including Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and the latest entries in series like Shining Force, referred to as Lagrune in its upcoming title. A check section spotlights Outrunners with a racing screenshot, and Shin Souseki Ragnosenti, Crusader of Senti, with an overhead RPG view, emphasizing these notable upcoming titles. Overall, the page captures the vibrant anticipation within the community for both faithful arcade ports and exciting new original software. This page features the BeepMD race, a review section where 2 new releases are put head-to-head using a unique odds system. First up is the Mega Drive port of Slank's arcade fighter, Art of Fighting. Released on January 14th, this is a 100 megabit shocker in the fighting genre. Reviewers note that while impressive, fans of the original Neo Geo version might find some aspects lacking. though it's a decent experience for those new to the game. It scores an average of 6.75. Competing is Electronic Arts' General Chaos, also released on January 14th. This is a comical, real-time strategy action game, where you command squads in chaotic battles. The graphics are praised, as is the humor, but some reviewers found the controls complex, and the gameplay potentially repetitive, despite a unique practice mode. It scores an average of 6.5. The section's review system uses average odds from 4 different reviewers, representing different gamer perspectives, including a beginner, a foreign game enthusiast, a group focused on game mania, and a general user. The page also includes their individual commentary. 4 BeepMD race games released January 28th are reviewed. Devil's Course, a golf sim, received a 6.5 average score, praised for its unique courses and options, though challenging for beginners. Yu Yu Hakusho Gaiden, an adventure game, scored 4.75, criticized for lacking action elements despite strong characterization. Sengoku Densho, a beat-em-up, earned a 5.75, praised for its atmosphere and characters but deemed dated. Finally, Ishi Hisaichi no Taiseikai, a political simulation, received a 5.75, lauded for its fun gameplay despite the complex subject matter. This page features reviews for 2 games in the BeepMD race. First up is Battletoads, released January 14th, an action games. Screenshots show the amphibious heroes fighting enemies in a side-scrolling environment. Reviewers gave it an average score of 6.0, noting its unique characters and nostalgic appeal from its previous console ports, though they found the Game Gear version challenging, sometimes frustrating due to difficulty spikes and the small screen size impacting gameplay. The second game reviewed is Lethal Ladies, listed as Riddick Bowboxing, released January 21st, a sports boxing game featuring communication play. The screenshot shows boxers in the ring. It received an average score of 5.5. Reviewers commented on the simple controls and large character sprites, finding it an adequate boxing experience, though some felt it lacked depth and impact compared to other boxing games. The editorial comments reflect on the month's releases, mentioning a lower number of titles compared to other periods. They touch on previous reviews, suggesting Fatal Fury for fighting fans and recommending Ishi Hisaichi no Taiseikai, while noting disappointment with Yu Yu Hakusho Gaiden. The editor expresses a personal interest in Lethal Ladies despite the overall sentiment of the month's lineup being somewhat underwhelming. Looking forward to future releases. This page is dedicated to the BeepMD Reader Race, a poll where readers rank their favorite Mega Drive games. The results are presented as an odds table, reflecting the collective opinion. Night Trap takes the top spot in this edition, a significant upset, with Gunstar Heroes and Sylphides following closely. Gauntlet and Winning Post saw notable rises in the rankings. Detailed reader comments and average scores are provided for the top-ranked Night Trap, highlighting its impressive FMV visuals and immersive, though sometimes frustrating, interactive gameplay. Aladdin, ranked 22nd, is praised for its faithful animation and music adaptation of the film, despite some criticisms about enemy variety. Lethal Enforcers, at 32nd, is noted for capturing the arcade light gun feel effectively, particularly when using a peripheral, though some find it repetitive. An editorial comment discusses the shakeup in the rankings, calling it a New Year storm, with Night Trap leading the charge, and other titles like Gauntlet making big moves, while Street Fighter II's position is slipping. A small feature on the side highlights Darwin 4081, describing it as a potentially rewarding shooter if you grasp its evolution mechanic, despite visual issues and poor balance. This page continues the reader rankings from the BeepMD Reader Race, showing games ranked from 63rd down to 140th. It also features specific games highlighted as Challenging Horses and Single Hole Horses, providing reader average scores and brief comments. Among the Challenging Horses, Party Quiz Mega Q is featured, praised for its party gameplay and varied quiz formats, especially the timed answer mode for competitive fun. Columns 2-1. Showdown. Columns World is also highlighted as a solid puzzle game, with lots of content and a strong versus mode, though some players wished for a more robust single-player experience. The Single Hole Horses section includes the simulation game Dark Wizard, noted for its detailed world and multiple scenarios, but criticized for slow battles and long load times. The RPG Vey is also featured, receiving mixed opinions with comments noting issues like small maps and high encounter rates. alongside praise for its story elements. A small section includes short reader comments, covering various topics including impressions of different games and their features. Streets of Rage 2, Bare Knuckle 2, ranks 11th in the B-Mega Reader Race's 35th installment. Released in 1993, this action game, a sequel to the original, features improved characters, more depth, and excellent music. The commentary praises its adherence to the hero-rescue-heroine plot, enhanced gameplay mechanics, and new characters. Reader feedback echoed these points, though some found the stage design repetitive. The game was a successful launch title following the popularity of Final Fight, achieving a strong sales performance. The page also showcases reader rankings further down the list, along with a vote distribution graph. This page continues the B-Mega Reader Race rankings, highlighting games further down the list in the 35th installment. The main focus is on reporter recommendations and features. One section, titled Decision, this magazine's reporters aiming for a mid-range shot, passionately reviews Joe Montana football. The reviewer is clearly a massive fan of Joe Montana and the 49ers, though he's now with the Chiefs in real life at this time, praising the game's realistic play, formations like Joe's play, and its accessibility for both newcomers and veterans, noting it's inspired by Tecmo's Super Bowl. He excitedly anticipates a potential future release with real team names. Another staff pick, My Recommended Horse, features Capcom's quiz game, Quiz Tonosama no Yabu. The reviewer appreciates its historical theme and voice acting, finding it a worthwhile quiz experience compared to simpler arcade games. A small box titled, Buy It When It Comes Out, points out Paperboy, highlighting it as a scarce Tengen title worth picking up if found. Finally, the Resting Horse chart briefly touches on NBA Pro Basketball, Bulls vs. Blazers, noting it was released 6 months prior and questioning if it will gather enough momentum to appear in the main rankings. This page features the latest results and analysis from the B-Mega Reader Race, focusing on the lower ranks of the Oz table. A major event is highlighted: the unexpected fall of Emperor Zodan, a game previously dominant at the bottom of the rankings, marking a significant shift in the long-running reader poll. The page also includes a special feature analyzing the history of top-ranking games in the reader race, noting how some previous kings only held the top spot briefly. This reflection ties into the editorial section, discussing the flow of the king and predicting who might be the king of the next generation, in light of the current volatility and the rise of new hardware. 2 contests are presented. One asking readers to predict the ranking of the upcoming Phantasy Star IV, The End of the Millennium, and another predicting the score for the new international release, Sonic Spinball, offering prizes for correct guesses. The page also includes an announcement of the winners from a previous contest. This page provides a worldwide scoop on the rapidly changing gaming industry. It highlights upcoming Japanese game shows where new hardware and software are expected to be revealed, essential events for tracking industry trends. Big news from the US is the launch of the Atari Jaguar in December, a powerful next-generation console hitting stores for $249, initially using cartridges with a Crackydrom unit planned later. Screenshots of games like the intense vector action of Tempest 2000 and the early 3D exploration of Cybermorph are shown, demonstrating its capabilities. Closer to home, Namco is expanding its leisure footprint in Yokohama. They've added a psychological test attraction to their Wonder Egg facility and opened Wonder City, a larger complex featuring popular arcades like Ridge Racer and Galaxian Cubed, alongside dining and other entertainment, catering to families and young adults. Sega is piloting a groundbreaking game delivery system using cable TV in Tokyo. This Sega channel allows subscribers to download and play MegaDrive games directly. The report covers a trial with 500 monitors, showing the menu interface and game selection featuring titles like Jurassic Park, Sonic the Hedgehog, Echo the Dolphin, and Gunstar Heroes. Initially offering 24 titles across themed channels, it provides easy access without worrying about stock shortages. Finally, there's information regarding a campaign tied to the beloved Phantasy Star series. This page covers various news and information from the gaming world. It reports on the intense market share battle happening in France, noting the popularity of Mega Drive and Mega CD titles like Aladdin, Street Fighter II, Special Champion Edition, Sonic CD, and Virtua Racing, while also highlighting growing interest in the upcoming Saturn hardware. Images show a French game store packed with software and the European version of Sonic CD. Data East's latest pinball machine, based on the movie Last Action Hero, is featured, along with coverage of a pinball tournament. A segment introduces the PIW Game Shop in Kunitachi, Tokyo, described as a friendly place specializing in new and used games, particularly action titles, with enthusiastic staff. Capcom is expanding their reach, launching a music CD series starting with Street Fighter II, and venturing into the world of sports with a soccer team partnership. Finally, a selection of new music CD releases is highlighted, including soundtracks for games like Ultimate Sentai Dadandarn, Guke Tuji Ichizoku, Neo Selection featuring music from World Heroes, and Namco Sound Express volumes covering Cybersled and Ridge Racer. There's also a brief mention of a Mega CD encyclopedia, and a cordless version of the Mega RGM2 console. This page features the 20th report from the B-Mega CM Detective Agency, focusing on commercials for Sega Mega Drive games. It covers two prominent titles, Sonic Spinball and Phantasy Star IV, The End of the Millennium. The Sonic Spinball commercial showcases impressive CG animation of Sonic and gameplay, with the CG work handled by the same studio responsible for the Sonic CD visuals. Reviewers were particularly impressed with the newly rendered pinball board in the commercial. The commercial for Phantasy Star IV takes a unique approach by casting foreign actors to bring the characters like Chaz, Alice, and Rune to life, effectively conveying the game's distinctive sci-fi RPG world. The detailed diorama sets used for the planetary scenes are highlighted for their quality. Interestingly, the menacing image of Dark Faltzy featured in the CM is noted as a processed illustration rather than CG. The reviewers felt the use of foreign actors enhanced the otherworldly feel and praised the effort in the production design. This page features the B-Mega AM network, highlighting exciting new arcade game releases. First up is the highly anticipated return of the classic vertical shooter, Raiden 2, developed by Seibu Kaihatsu. This revamped masterpiece introduces powerful new weapons like the plasma laser and diffusion bomber, and takes the action into space in later stages, promising exhilarating gameplay that builds upon the original. The game was showcased at a popular presentation event and is currently operating to great acclaim. Also featured is Batsugun, the latest shooting game from veteran developer Tohaplan. This title offers a choice of distinctive characters and ships, supports two-player cooperative play with a powerful double bomber attack, and features a unique gauge level-up system. With its engaging cast and intense action, Batsugun is set to deliver plenty of thrilling arcade excitement. This page reports on the dramatic final round of the 1993 All-Japan F3000 Championship held at Suzuka on November 13th and 14th. The main headline announces Tom Danielson's first victory and Kazuyoshi Hoshino winning the series championship in a very close finish. The text details the intense championship battle, highlighting drivers like Hoshino, Eddie Irvine, and Roland Ratzenberger, listed as R2boy. Roland Ratzenberger secured pole position, but Tom Danielson ultimately won the race, with Eddie Irvine finishing second. Despite Irvine's performance, Kazuyoshi Hoshino's results in the final race were sufficient for him to clinch the championship title. The page features dynamic images of the race cars competing on track, photos of drivers including Eddie Irvine and the newly crowned champion Kazuyoshi Hoshino, a picture of the race winner Tom Danielson celebrating with race queens, and a shot of the podium ceremony. This page dives into the excitement of the J.League season, specifically focusing on the crucial later stages. The main headline declares, "Verdi is the favorite, controlling the later stage with strength," highlighting Verdi Kawasaki's dominance in the second stage. The article details their path to winning the second stage championship, and sets the stage for the much-anticipated Grand Championship Series against the first stage winners, Kashima Antlers, to determine the overall season champion. The page includes the final standings for both the first and second stages, showing Kashima Antlers top the first stage and Verdi Kawasaki the second. It also provides the ranking of the league's top goal scorers, alongside dynamic photos capturing J.League match action and players. There's a Mega Calcio quiz section, inviting readers to predict the outcomes of the upcoming pivotal matches, including the Grand Championship clashes. The page provides a comprehensive look at the league's conclusion, emphasizing the battle for the ultimate title. This page summarizes the exciting conclusion of the J.League season, focusing on Verdi Kawasaki's second stage victory and the upcoming Grand Championship decider against Kashima Antlers. This page features Sega's anticipated spring lineup, with the main focus on the new action RPG Crusader of Senti, which was previously known under the development title Shining Rogue. Developed by GAO Entertainment, this title is highlighted as a superb ARPG. A key feature is the Trinity system, where the protagonist partners with animal companions. These animals are crucial for powering up abilities, casting magic, providing transportation, and assisting in various ways, allowing for a high degree of freedom in gameplay combinations. The page showcases several screenshots depicting the top-down action combat, dungeon exploration, and interaction with the unique animal partners. The story setup introduces a young hero who gains the ability to communicate with animals after an unusual event, setting him on his adventure. The article emphasizes the game's unique mechanics and presentation, suggesting it offers a fresh experience different from previous Sega ARPGs. It was scheduled for a May 1994 release, with pricing and capacity yet to be determined. This page features Outrunners, a major arcade racing hit making its way to the Sega Mega Drive as part of the anticipated spring lineup. Capturing the feel of the arcade experience, the game promises the pure joy of racing with impressive visuals and music, even suggesting the BGM is better than the original. The Mega Drive version expands on the arcade with 4 game modes, including a new versus computer mode where you take on a series of unique AI opponents in timed races. A standout feature is the selection of 8 distinct and crazy machines you can drive, each with its own handling characteristics and quirky driver/navigator pair. Whether you prefer automatic or manual transmission, Outrunners lets you choose. The development team is working hard towards a planned May release, aiming to deliver a satisfying port for fans. This page features Eternal Champions, a fighting game from America joining the Sega Spring lineup. Set in a world dominated by power, various powerful individuals and beasts from different eras gather to fight for eternal victory. The game boasts 9 unique characters and utilizes a 6-button control scheme with light, medium, and strong punches and kicks, allowing for complex strategies and character-specific special moves. It offers various modes including Versus, Tournament, and Training, supporting 2 players. The animation quality is noted as impressive for a Mega Drive fighting game. Character profiles for Blade, a hero from the future, Rax, a cyborg fighter, and Shadow, a mysterious female assassin, are highlighted, showcasing the diverse roster. The final opponent is hinted at, possibly the character depicted in martial arts attire. Eternal Champions is set for a February release, developed by Sega, and comes on a 24-bit cartridge. This page continues the deep dive into Eternal Champions, showcasing more of the game's unique cast and mechanics. You'll find profiles for Xavier, a magic user, Midnight, a vampire with life-draining attacks, Larson, a trenchcoat-clad gangster using a wire like a web-slinger, Jeddah, who combines boomerang attacks with psychic powers, Slash, a powerful caveman wielding a club, and Trident, a fierce merman with trident attacks. The page heavily emphasizes the vast array of special moves each character possesses, explaining the energy system represented by the yin-yang mark that depletes when using these powerful techniques. There's also a note from the developers, highlighting the game's American comic book style, beautiful backgrounds, and unique character actions, encouraging readers to give Eternal Champions a try. This page dives into Taunter, Sega's popular arcade minigame compilation, making its way to the Mega Drive. Set for an April 1994 release, this title packs a variety of quick, simple games that rely on rapid button presses and timing, making it easy for anyone to jump in and play. The Mega Drive version is highlighted as a perfect port of the arcade original, but it goes further by adding 4 entirely new games and, excitingly, increasing the player count to up to 4 simultaneously. This means you'll want to prepare a Sega tap to fully enjoy the competitive chaos. The page previews a few of the minigames included from the collection, which features over 10 types. One is a frantic matching game where you align slot machine symbols. Another challenges your spatial reasoning by asking you to count stacked cubes. And a third is a puzzle game where you find shapes based on scrolling hints. The description suggests the game starts simple but quickly increase in difficulty, particularly in later rounds, or when dealing with hidden elements in the cube game. The focus is clearly on fun, competitive party action. This page continues the deep dive into Sega's minigame compilation, Tanter. It showcases several more of the quickfire challenges packed into the game, demonstrating the wide variety of skills required to succeed. You'll see games testing pure reflexes, like guessing the location of a vanishing ninja, or rapidly matching numbers as they flash on screen. There are visual puzzles, such as arranging matching gems, or solving geometric math problems, using shapes instead of digits. Timing is crucial in a stopwatch game, where you must stop the clock within a narrow window, while observation and dynamic vision are key in spotting a hidden object under shuffling hats, or perfectly framing a moving target for a photo. There's even a button-mashing challenge involving waking up a rooster by popping balloons. The page reinforces the idea that Tantor is packed with interesting and enjoyable games. The reviewer expresses genuine enthusiasm, noting how fun the content is and mentioning being hooked on the arcade version, suggesting the Mega Drive port captures that same addictive quality. The collection offers something for everyone, emphasizing speed, observation, and quick thinking across its diverse lineup of mini-challenges. This page showcases Formula One World Championship 1993. Heavenly Symphony for the Mega CD. Developed in collaboration with Fuji TV, this game aims for unprecedented realism in the genre, leveraging the Mega CD's capabilities with extensive data and video footage from the actual 1993 F1 season. Noteworthy incidents from the season are even included. The page highlights the detail, mentioning faithful reproductions of car drawing, courses, spectator areas, scenery, signs, and even tire marks. Race settings and schedules are also accurately represented. The game features two modes, GP mode and a dedicated 93 mode. Screenshots depict intense racing action from various angles, including the iconic Monaco circuit, showcasing the graphical detail and user interface. There are also images related to the development, including a close-up of a racing helmet and people involved with the project, notably pit reporter Hitoichi Kawai, who served as an advisor. Damon Hill is also said to have provided input. The reviewer expresses that while the F1 game genre has matured, it has lacked truly satisfying entries until now. They believe this title, with its focus on realism and detail, is highly recommended for F1 fans, calling it a game that Sega, which has supported F1, can be proud of. This page continues the look at Formula One World Championship 1993. Heavenly Symphony for the Mega CD. It emphasizes the incredible detail and realism achieved in the game. They've gone the extra mile by drawing every opponent car uniquely, avoiding simple recolors or reused models seen in many other racing games. The voices of drivers and pit staff provide crucial, accurate information about your car's condition, which is essential for managing races and preventing issues. Furthermore, the tracks are reproduced with painstaking accuracy, capturing the real-world undulations, width, and grip characteristics of circuits like Monaco, Germany, and Japan. This fidelity, based on data and advice from Fuji TV and advisors like Hitoichi Kawai, results in a truly realistic racing environment. The game also utilizes Cinepack compression for smooth video sequences, such as pit stops, enhancing the immersion without noticeable access delays. This level of detail and technical achievement makes it a standout title for F1 fans on the Mega CD. This page introduces a fascinating collection for the Mega CD titled Game no Kanzume, Game Canned Goods, reviving over 20 titles from Sega's old modem-based game library service across 2 volumes. This collection is a fantastic way for players to experience games that were originally distributed digitally via modem. They've curated 23 titles from this unique service, splitting them into 2 volumes on CD. Volume 1, specifically highlighted here, includes 11 games, featuring classics like the arcade hit Flicky, perfectly reproduced with its familiar Bouncing Birds gameplay shown in a screenshot. Other titles showcased are Paddle Fighter, an air hockey game featuring unique special moves, Hyper Marbles, a challenging puzzle game, and the Pyramid Magic series, another set of puzzle games. A major draw is the inclusion of the Phantasy Star II text adventure series, which delves into the backstories of Phantasy Star II characters, such as Yusuke, Shiruka, Huey, and Armia, presented as text adventures with character illustrations. The menu interface for the collection features voice navigation, provided by the talented voice actress, Megumi Hayashibara. This compilation offers a nostalgic look at some less common but beloved Sega titles from the past. The next page dives into the contents of Game no Kanzume Volume 2, featuring 10 more titles from the Sega game library. This volume includes a diverse mix, from the Metal Game Simulation, Metal City, and the arcade-style platformer 16T, to strategic titles like Robot Master, where you battle customizable mechs. Sports fans get a unique twist with Putter Golf, combining putting with pinball physics. Classic arcade ports like Teddy Boy Blues are also included, bringing their nostalgic charm. Puzzle game enthusiasts can enjoy Doki Doki Penguin Land, while Awarg offers engaging action. The collection delves into deeper gameplay with Shi no Meikyu, a dungeon RPG with randomized elements reminiscent of Rogue. The Phantasy Star II text adventure series continues here, featuring episodes centered around other key characters like Rudo, Neye, Kynes, and Anna, though the text notes Rudo's story presents particularly challenging battles. The page concludes by reiterating the collection's origin from the old modem service, and mentions the voice navigation, confirming Megumi Hayashibara's involvement, building anticipation for the release. Last Armageddon Gaiden. Eclipse, a new Mega CD RPG, continues the story of a dark future where humans are livestock for demons. 5 rebellious demons vow to protect the now called Eclipse. The game features doubled monster graphics, a new evolution system where demons consume humans, incorporating their emotions, and 200 human types, and 260 demon evolutions. Combat uses an action count system, with spellcasting time, adding strategic depth. A monster encyclopedia tracks evolved monsters, enemies, and items encountered. The unique Eat and Evolve mechanic and monster protagonists are highlighted as key features, leveraging the Mega Set's capacity. This page features the upcoming Mega CD release of Wing Commander. Origin Systems, the legendary developer behind Ultima, brings their acclaimed space combat simulation to the platform, leveraging the Mega Creed's capabilities for enhanced graphics and sound. The article highlights the game's use of pre-rendered CG visuals to achieve impressive 3D effects, even noting that it avoids traditional polygons for a more detailed look, particularly noticeable in character textures. Screenshots showcase the intense cockpit action, space battles against the Kilrathi, and scenes from the carrier, the Tiger's Claw. The story summary details the ongoing war in 2654, and the player's role as a pilot embarking on a major counteroffensive. Introductions to key crew members, including Paladin, Spirit, Eagle, and Angel, give a glimpse into the supporting cast players will interact with on their mission. It's presented as a highly anticipated title, bringing a popular PC genre experience to the console. The next page dives deep into the controls and mechanics of Wing Commander, essential for any pilot looking to survive the Kilrathi onslaught. It emphasizes that mastering your ship's handling is crucial, noting the controls feel different from standard shooting games and require precise input. The guide breaks down key actions. Movement is primarily via the DPAD, allowing control over altitude, with an option to reverse the standard up/down mapping. Holding B and using left/right allows for rolling. Combat focuses on lasers, a button, and various missile types, A+B, each with different tracking methods like guided or heat-seeking, requiring strategic use. Communication and navigation are handled through the Yuki button for comms and the map, letting you select targets or destinations, with a +B enabling autopilot. Switching views is important in the vastness of space. The page explains how to cycle through perspectives using Start plus DPAD up/down, change cockpit view direction with Start plus left/right, and even get a missile's eye view with Start plus A+B. Finally, it offers a vital tip. When things get hairy, eject. Start plus B+C triggers an emergency ejection, which, while not completing the mission, is far better than dying. The page also recommends using the in-game simulator to practice handling your ship and learning enemy characteristics. This page is packed with practical advice to help players get the hang of this complex space simulation. The next page provides a fascinating look inside the TCS Tiger's Claw from Wing Commander. It details key locations players will frequent, such as the bar, where the knowledgeable former pilot known as the Master can be found, offering insights into the crew. The barracks are also shown, allowing interaction with fellow pilots and access to personal records via lockers. The operations room is highlighted as crucial for mission briefings, where the objective and current situation are explained before deployment. The page also points out the location of the invaluable in-game simulator, reinforcing the advice from the previous page about practicing your flying skills. Furthermore, it outlines the general flow of a mission, from understanding the briefing and navigating to the objective, engaging in combat, potentially traversing hazards like asteroid fields, and finally, successfully landing back on the carrier to achieve mission completion. This page effectively guides the player through the shipboard experience and the core loop of a mission in Wing Commander. The next page focuses on engaging in real combat in Wing Commander after mastering the simulator, urging players to save frequently. It outlines details for 4 missions: a reconnaissance flight encountering enemy fighters in asteroid fields, an escort mission requiring the defense of a transport ship until warp, a reconnaissance flight in a new prototype fighter after receiving a promotion, and confronting a massive enemy destroyer located via radar. The page also offers vital survival tips, advising against unnecessary risks in non-combat focused missions, and stressing the critical importance of paying close attention to the radar to identify and track enemies. Finally, a note from Sega highlights the game's origins as a hit overseas PC title, its popularity evident from ports and sequels, and expresses excitement for players to experience its depth upon its release. This page highlights some new software releases, starting with Konami's Hyper Dunk. This basketball game features all 16 teams, each with 12 registered players. It includes various modes like tournament and exhibition, and notably supports multiplayer for up to 8 players. The review emphasizes action and smooth movement over strict realism, mentioning the 8 different dunk patterns. Screenshots show the team selection screen and in-game action. Next is Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness, the latest entry in the acclaimed strategy series. A significant change here is that castles now serve as the basic strategic unit, and controlling a nation requires conquering all its castles. Roads connecting these castles are strategically vital for movement and attack. The page shows the detailed map interface with castles and roads, character portraits like Oda Nobunaga, and scenes depicting commerce and troop movements, highlighting the focus on building national power and military strength. The historical figures themselves are also presented as a major draw. This page kicks off with a new Scramble section highlighting upcoming titles. First up is Tecmo Super NBA Basketball following their successful football game. It features real NBA players and their stats, bringing their unique styles to the game, complete with Tecmo's signature dramatic cut-ins. Next is NFL Pro Football 94. The latest Madden entry. It promises updated team data and strategic depth, similar to the previous version, but enhancing elements like weather effects such as rain and snow. For wrestling fans, WWF Royal Rumble is featured, bringing the chaotic intensity of the mode with a roster packed with popular stars including Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, The Undertaker, and Lex Luger. Closing out the main game previews is 2020 Super Baseball, a futuristic take on the sport that matches the content of the Neo Geo version. It stands out with unique teams, featuring female players, robots, and even ninjas, promising exciting and dramatic gameplay moments. The page also includes an info overflow section. It notes the strong lineup of Mega Drive cartridge games expected this year. Most notably, it provides the first public reveal of Wonder Boy IV, showcasing a title screen and gameplay shot. There's also an update on Success's beautiful shooter, Panorama Cotton, which is nearing completion and showing off new visual cuts with its signature vibrant, pseudo-3D style. This page features a big push for Sega's sports games, highlighting their success in America under the Sega Sports brand, and their planned arrival in Japan. The main headline emphasizes returning to the roots of competitive sports gaming. Logos for key titles are displayed, including NFL Football 94 starring Joe Montana, World Series Baseball, NBA Action, and Winter Olympic Games. The text explains Sega's approach to sports games as a distinct brand overseas, similar to how clothing lines might have different labels. While Sega of America had released many sports titles, the reception in Japan hadn't been as strong, particularly on the Mega Drive, often being overshadowed by RPGs according to a reader poll summary shown on the side. To counter this, Sega is making a concentrated effort to bring these acclaimed American-developed sports games to the Japanese market. Screenshots showcase some of these overseas titles. World Series Baseball featuring a realistic view, the Sega CD title Prizefighter, which is a live-action FMV boxing game, NFL Football 94, highlighting its use of Joe Montana as an advisor, and a U.S. gold-developed Winter Olympic Games title. Sega is positioning these releases as serious, high-quality sports simulations, with features like realistic views and updated player data, aiming to heat up the sports game genre in Japan. This page dives deep into NFL Football 94 starring Joe Montana, presented as the latest entry in Sega's sports lineup, with full TV-style coverage featuring zoom, replay, and commentary. The game boasts Joe Montana's direct supervision and includes the most up-to-date 93 season data. It highlights significant improvements over previous titles, including enhanced graphics and smoother controls. As an officially licensed NFL product, it includes all 28 teams with real player names. Key features showcased through screenshots include dynamic camera perspectives with zoom, the ability to view replays of previous plays, realistic weather effects like rain and snow, and the return of the robust formation system from the prior game. The page emphasizes the game's ability to deliver an authentic NFL atmosphere right in your home. The screenshots also display referee actions, like measuring for a first down and signaling a touchdown, adding to the realism. The page concludes by showing the helmet logos for every team included in the game, covering the full league roster. This page features Gold's Winter Olympic Games, focusing on the XV2 Olympic Winter Games held in Lillehammer, 1994. The game is presented as a technical sports title, moving away from simple button mashing, and is designed as a party game supporting varying numbers of players depending on the event. It includes language support for 5 languages, excluding Japanese. Players can choose from full Olympics, mini Olympics, or training modes. The page highlights that the game features 10 events, showcasing each with a small screenshot and brief description. The events covered are downhill, super GOG, bobsled, luge, giant slalom, slalom, moguls, ski jump, biathlon, and short track. The reviewer notes that mastering the alpine events is key and suggests it's a game best enjoyed with friends. There is also a small section explaining that Lillehammer is a town in Norway which hosted the games, and notes the strength of Nordic countries in winter sports. Please provide the text you want me to summarize. This page welcomes readers to BeepMD, celebrating the first issue of 1994 and a Happy New Year. The Funky Letter Station section features mail and questions from readers to DJ Nemo. Topics include inquiries about Nemo's past, a reader's impressive Landstalker time attack record, 6 minutes 59 seconds, and comments on game-related experiences. One reader complains about not receiving compensation for contributions, like they did from other magazines. Another reader asks Nemo about fighting aliens. Several readers discuss their gaming setups and habits, including some who own a Genesis and Sega CD but lack a television and play at friends' houses, which become popular hangouts. Nemo encourages these students to balance gaming with their studies. This month's BGM Manager Select highlights the music from the Bitmap Brothers, specifically mentioning Speedball 2. The reviewer praises their distinct sound, noting the strong house music elements in Speedball 2's BGM as cool and pleasant. The section includes an illustration of a device with a robotic figure. Other reader comments mention acquiring games like Landstalker, Shanghai, and getting excited about the 16-bit experience. One reader's girlfriend is apparently into playing Street Fighter 2-Plus. Another reader is saving up to buy Sword of Sodan, while some friends reportedly own Legend of Hero Tanjuma and 3x3 Eyes. This page celebrates the contributors who made BeepMD lively in 1993, thanking them for their submissions. It lists the top contributors based on how many times their work was published in both the text and illustration categories. Tarzan Suzuki topped the text section with 8 publications, while Miyamori Haruka led the illustration section with 4. The editor comments on the unique style of the illustrations featured in Illustration City, and acknowledges the consistent support from the top contributors. A section dedicated to reader comments includes various observations and rumors. One reader notes that Power Drift was reportedly made by a single person. There are comments on J.League Pro Striker being unplayable, and Puyo Puyo on the Super Famicom apparently not feeling soft. Other remarks include the humorous idea that licking Puyo Puyo is good for the liver, and a persistent rumor that Nobunaga is still alive. The Illustration City showcases reader artwork inspired by games. Featured illustrations include characters from Mega Drive Gamania, Awesome Possum Kicking Drive, Makino's Butt, with a message about cleaning the earth, and characters from Dyna Brothers with comments about their tenacity and the upcoming sequel. There are also drawings based on the genie from Aladdin, expressing satisfaction with the movie and game, Sonic the Hedgehog combining with Chaos Emeralds, and a drawing related to Powermonger, noting the realistic voices in the Mega CD version. This page delves into the history of Sega through reader submissions and explanations of early hardware. The Sega Old-Timer Health Association features nostalgic recollections from readers who've been playing Sega games for over 5 years. People share memories of getting their first Sega consoles, like the SG-1000 or Master System, often discussing the excitement and challenges of those early days. An image shows the packaging for the SG-1000 GameStar Jacker, described as having a surprisingly large box for an early cartridge. The page also includes an explanation of early Sega hardware. It details the SG-1000, Sega's first home console, noting its design and cartridge slot. The SC-3000, a computer version with a built-in keyboard, is also described, highlighting its programming capabilities. The Sega Master System, referred to as Mark II-I, is explained as an upgrade to the SG-1002 with improved graphics and sound, and features like FM sound and 3D glass compatibility are mentioned. Finally, the SK1100 keyboard, an add-on for the SG-1000 series and Master System for basic programming, is noted as a necessary but separate purchase. Other sections include reader feedback on past GIFs, general information points covering topics like rumors, illustration submissions, and continuing the old-timer theme, and a giveaway section for a fan-made comic book. There's also a call for readers to submit ideas for game titles. The page concludes by mentioning that the next issue will focus on user voices. This page kicks off with a discussion about Sonic the Hedgehog's immense success, focusing on the eagerly anticipated Sonic the Hedgehog CD. It highlights the game's signature speed and diverse stages, touching on features like riding a board and interacting with the environment. Reader feedback confirms the excitement, noting Sonic's rising popularity and expressing hopes for his appearance on systems beyond the Mega Drive and Game Gear, specifically mentioning the Sega Pico educational console. Moving on, the page briefly touches upon the state of role-playing games, lamenting a recent lack of major titles while acknowledging releases like Phantasy Star and Shining Force 2, and soliciting reader opinions on the future of the genre on the Mega Drive. A section titled, A Word from BeepMD, features a collection of short, varied comments from readers, touching upon personal life events, game-related wishes, and observations, reflecting the diverse interests of the readership. Finally, the Illustration City section showcases fan artwork submitted by readers, including illustrations of characters from popular games like Puyo Puyo, and an impressive depiction of Frey from Landstalker. This page is filled with reader feedback and opinions about the Mega Drive and its games. The main section, titled, Saying Whatever We Want, collects comments on various topics. Readers express wishes for specific software like a detailed shogi game with diverse modes and SF/fantasy presentation, and excitement for announced titles like Heavenly Symphony. There's discussion about the technical side, with one user frustrated by slow load times on the Mega CD for continues and game overs, citing Night Striker as a good example of smooth performance. The state of RPGs is also mentioned, noting a recent lull but acknowledging releases like Shining Force 2 and expressing hope for more. Another commenter argues that the dedicated, even maniacal, Mega Drive user base is key to pushing for innovative new software. The page also features a call for reader submissions for the Mega Users Voice section, asking for thoughts on hardware, software, and manufacturers. There's information on submitting artwork and entries for a Sonic and Tails speed contest, which is highlighted with character art of Sonic's sidekick. Several small pieces of fan art from readers are showcased, featuring characters from games like Columns and potentially Shining Force 2. Finally, a correction is made regarding a previous article on Nobunaga's Ambition, Hao Senki, clarifying it supports up to 8 players, not just 1. This page is the Planet Sega Stadium feature, taking a look back at Sega's happenings in 1993 and previewing what's coming up. Sonic greets the readers, encouraging them to spend their leftover New Year's money wisely on Sega games. The page highlights major titles from 1993, like the return of Shining Force 2, and celebrates Treasure's impressive second game, McDonald's Treasureland Adventure. It also focuses on the highly anticipated release of the final chapter in the saga, Phantasy Star IV. Other notable games discussed include the popular Echo the Dolphin and the faithful adaptation of Aladdin. The power of the Mega CD is showcased with the Virtual Cinema series, while the groundbreaking polygon graphics of Virtua Racing are finally complete and ready for release. The impressive visuals of Panorama Cotton are also praised. The page provides details on the Sega Joy Joy fan line, information on Megumi Hayashibara's radio show, and mentions the latest updates available via the Sega Video Magazine. There's even a campaign offering the Master System version of Phantasy Star I to those who purchased Phantasy Star IV. The Letters Corner features reader feedback and reports on Sega's promotional efforts. This page introduces a brand new corner featuring Megumi Hayashibara, tentatively titled Cyber Culture Cat Girl. This section will delve into her gaming world. The inaugural piece is an interview where she discusses her history with games, starting with the Mega Drive and how Sonic's speed hooked her. She reveals her preference for action and puzzle titles like Puyo Puyo and competitive games, while admitting she struggles with RPGs, finding it hard to stop playing. She mentions recently enjoying columns 2 eyes. The corner is also seeking reader participation, asking for postcards with questions or thoughts on gaming. Looking ahead, the corner plans to cover various topics, including game reviews, interviews, and exploring Sega locations. There's also a section highlighting popular reprints of games now available, encouraging readers to grab titles they might have missed previously. This page is part of a special feature titled Magazine Jack. Mega Drive third-party want to do whatever they want, where third-party developers take over a section of the magazine. First up is the Sunsoft section, with an article titled, "The Path of the Connoisseur is Difficult." This piece reflects on the idea of being a true gamer connoisseur and reviews the game Flashback. Described as a real motion action game, with adventure elements in the first half and intense action later on, the reviewer highlights its complex puzzles and traps that demand sharp judgment and quick reflexes, noting its high difficulty. Below that is the compile section, starting with a New Year's greeting. They announced that development for Gosho 2 is underway with the subtitle RL16, and ask readers if they picked up the excellent Gosho I for Game Gear, noting its high quality. The section also promotes the Compile Club, their fan magazine featuring strategy guides for Gosho I, new game info, reader games, and events. There's also a reader submission corner called Noko Newspaper, featuring illustrations and opinions, and they are currently holding a Puyo Puyo character contest. Side panels provide details on joining the Compile Club and submitting content to the reader corner. The page also includes a humorous comic strip. This special corner allows third-party developers like Sunsoft and Compile to share their thoughts and information directly with readers in their own unique style. This page is the Micronet section of the Magazine Jack. Special feature, Scene 7. Micronet discusses the landscape of Mega Drive third parties, noting there are over 50 companies involved, and some have struggled. The author expresses a desire for all third parties to contribute to this corner. The piece delves into preferences for game heroes, contrasting the current trend of muscular characters with a preference for aesthetically pleasing, slender types, referencing the classic shoujo manga, The Poem of the Wind and Trees, as an example of the preferred style. The author laments the lack of heroes that meet their aesthetic standards. The page features various character sketches and manga panels. The panels primarily promote Micronet's upcoming game, Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness for the Mega Drive, scheduled for release on February 25th, priced at 12,800 yen. The manga depicts scenes featuring historical figures like Oda Nobunaga, showcasing moments from the game's strategic setting. There are also humorous gag panels included, like the one involving a monkey and a banana. The section concludes by inviting submissions to the corner, emphasizing that there is no cost for participation. This page features the Sonic News Communications section, presented by Sonic Software Planning themselves. The staff offer a New Year's greeting, introducing some of their team members, including programmers, graphic artists, planners, producers, Hiroyuki Takahashi and Shugo Takahashi. The Sonic Mania section is dedicated to reader submissions, primarily fan art and impressions centered around Shining Force 2. There are several charming illustrations of characters from the game, like Bowie, Sarah, Chester, and Luke, submitted by fans from various prefectures across Japan. The staff mention they've received many great submissions, and specifically call out liking the character Twiggy. An interesting piece is the Game Boy has arrived section, featuring photos from what appears to be a development room. The text mentions testing a Shining Force 2 ROM cassette and CD, potentially hinting at related projects or testing procedures. It also notes a Samurai Showdown competition was held there, which is a fun detail showing what the team was up to. Finally, there's a call for reader contributions to the Love the Maxims section, encouraging submissions for game-related quotes, though they caution about self-regulation for overly risky content. The address for sending submissions to the BeepMD editorial department is provided. Konami no Oheya, hosted by Stat Hayasaka, is a queue and a column featuring reader questions about various Konami Mega Drive games. The 14th installment addresses topics like game purchasing enthusiasm, career advice for game music industry hopefuls, color design choices in Lethal Enforcers, game release plans, larger capacity games, overseas action games, and Japanese RPG/ADV/SLGS, and Konami's approach to originality. Responses include insights on the Mega Drive's addictiveness, comparisons to other companies, the future of fighting games, the availability of the game selector EV, and encourage further reader submissions. The column includes illustrations and a photo of Hayasaka. This page is a full-page advertisement for the Game Store Santa, listing prices for Sega Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear software and hardware, along with ordering information. This page features an in-depth article about Tengen, kicked off by a large graphic advertising Tengen's game, and featuring a collage of artwork from various titles. The article is presented as an interview with Tengen manager, Jun Tenai, discussing the company's unique approach to the Japanese market, including their distinct advertising style. The discussion covers Tengen's roots and connection to Atari, explaining their history and structure. A key point highlighted is Tengen's commitment to quality, prioritizing games that are bug-free, have excellent controls, and make a strong first impression. They emphasize moving beyond just ports and focusing on developing original titles, aiming to create what they call the Tengen genre of games. The article covers their current lineup, referencing 17 titles, including new releases. Future plans are also touched upon, hinting at development for newer hardware and potentially utilizing techniques like texture mapping to enhance visuals. Unfortunately, the interview mentions that the planned release of Race Drive-In has been removed from the schedule. Overall, it portrays Tengen as a company focused on delivering high-quality, original gaming experiences distinct from others in the market. This page continues. The discussion started in the previous issue regarding Tengen's lineup, focusing on the highly anticipated arcade port versus V, known as Grindstormer overseas. Developed by Toplan and brought to the Mega Drive by Tengen, the article notes that both the domestic versus V version and the international Grindstormer version will be available, allowing players to choose their preferred style. The breakdown begins with an introduction to Stage 1, highlighting the initial enemy types encountered and the importance of learning their patterns. It specifically points out that defeating certain mid-sized enemies yields power-up items. A significant portion of the article details the key differences between the two game modes. The Versus V mode, geared towards the Japanese market, replaces the traditional bomb system with a shield, and utilizes a capsule collection system for power-ups. In contrast, the Grindstormer mode, based on the overseas arcade release, awards power-up panels upon defeating specific enemies, and retains the bomb weapon. The article suggests that while both are valid, the strategy for clearing the game differs significantly between the modes. Finally, there's a brief look at the first boss encounter, teasing a battle against two formidable twin giants. Overall, the page serves as an introductory guide to this challenging vertical shooter, emphasizing the strategic depth offered by its dual-mode system. Grindstormer's Stage 2 shifts from pure shooting to aerial maneuvering around floating obstacles. Ground combat follows, introducing diverse enemies, including a boss reminiscent of Stage 1's but with different coloring and a large laser cannon. The Stage 2 boss, featuring bending lasers and deploying robots, requires strategic timing of widespread shots to target the main computer. Destroying the 6 turrets beforehand is advised. The game's left-handed option caters to left-handed players. 3 weapon types, Shot, Search, and Missile, offer varied capabilities. Shot is versatile, Search is effective against bosses, and Missile is powerful but requires careful use. Successful play hinges on weapon selection. Grindstormer, a challenging shoot-'em-up, transitions to space in Stage 3, featuring aggressive enemies and numerous bonus panels. Stage 4 takes place in a blue fortress, drastically increasing difficulty and requiring strategic maneuvering. Minor enemies introduced in Stage 3 have specific attack patterns, emphasizing team play. The development room details the technical challenges of porting the game to the Mega Drive, including sprite management and optimization issues, which were partially driven by an American request for an 8M SHT. The new tennis game, Davis Cup World Tour, is slated for release on February 10th. It features 3D graphics, various modes, Davis Cup Tournament, World Championship, Exhibition, and different court types affecting ball speed and bounce. Players' expressive reactions are highlighted, though detailed facial expressions aren't shown. The game supports single and simultaneous 2-player modes, and includes 16 countries and 64 registered players. Gameplay features 5 matches, 1 doubles, 4 singles, per Davis Cup tie, while single player involves winning 3 singles matches. Exhibition mode allows for quick matches with friends, while tournament mode uses a knockout format, and championship mode spans 29 countries, with initial prize money of 20,000 currency. Strategic in-match commands like reviewing stats, replaying points, and protesting calls are crucial, but excessive protesting can result in defaulting. This page presents a comprehensive look at Tengin's offerings on the Mega Drive, featuring a total review of their key titles. The main focus is on Atari's Ishoku porting works. Games highlighted include the driving sim Hard Drivin', the arcade racer Road Blasters, the fighting game Pit Fighter, the delivery game Paperboy, the baseball title RBI Baseball, labeled RB14, the block-dropping action of Klax, labeled as Landbart, and the movie Tyne 007, License to Kill, labeled 007 Shitushu. Each game gets a short description and a screenshot or two. The reviews offer insights into the gameplay and overall feel. For example, Hard Drivin' is praised for being fun just driving or crashing. Pit Fighter is noted for its realistic digitized characters, faithfully ported from the arcade, making the player feel truly immersed. Paperboy is described as a charming game about a newspaper delivery boy. Klax is seen as a mixture of methodical piece-dropping and exhilarating shooting elements, making it feel very much like a game. 007. License to Kill allows players to embody James Bond, facing various dangers and having to rescue the trapped beauty. The page also includes a small guide to the review icons. The orange face for general users and accessible content, and the red face for content that requires a certain level of understanding or is for those with enlightenment. Overall, it's a showcase of Tengin's diverse library on the platform. This page details more Tenjin releases, including Snow Bros, Snowball Platformer, Slap Fight MD, Vertical Shooter, Steel Talons, 3D Helicopter Action, and Marble Madness, Isometric Puzzle/Action. Gauntlet, a 4-player dungeon crawler, and MiG-29 Fulcrum, Flight Simulation, are also covered. Awesome Possum is a platformer with environmental themes. The page emphasizes the difficulty of obtaining some titles, suggesting direct contact with Tenjin, and highlights fan-created content in Tenjin manuals. Copyright information for various game companies is included. This page showcases the first Tenjin Cup Dragon's Revenge Tournament, a battle for reader presence between the Tenjin team and the BeepMD Drive team. Participants, including Tenjin's Yokoyama-san, known for manual writing, and Takahashi-san, public relations, faced off against Beep's Alex Kuji and Gichi on the pinball game Dragon's Revenge. The tournament, played for pride and prizes, saw the Tenjin team take an early lead, only for the Beep team to mount a comeback. Despite some strong play, especially from Gichi, the Beep team couldn't hold on, and the Tenjin team secured a dramatic come-from-behind victory. The page also includes a section on Beauty and the Dragon's Burden, featuring a screenshot from the game and describing a difficult adversary. Winning players offer tips, emphasizing the importance of staying calm and strategic trapping of the ball. The losing team provides Tenjin-branded wallets as prizes for readers. The overall tone is lighthearted, presenting the competition almost like a manga story. This page features a surprising announcement from the Sega Falcom communication column. A temporary hiatus. The main reason given is that Sega Falcom is focusing heavily on game development. Specifically, the upcoming Popful Mail and Hyperload Monarch, which is taking precedence over writing the column. Adding to this, the company is relocating from Yoyogi to a new Sega Creative Center in Shibuya, requiring a pause in the serialization until they are settled. The page includes a sidebar framing this news as a shocking event after 28 installments. There's also a column by director Yano discussing the move and the broader industry landscape in '94, highlighting the shift towards 32-bit systems and multimedia, noting the company's continued focus on quality titles in this challenging environment. A screenshot of Popful Mail is shown, featuring a character asking to be taken to town, with a caption explaining that, while game introductions are delayed this month, a large feature is planned for the future. The overall tone mixes apology for the break with excitement for future games and the new Shibuya location. This page is the Treasure Factory feature, showcasing the developer treasure. The main illustration depicts a chaotic but productive factory, announcing the grand debut of a new treasure character. A simple, round cartoon figure bursting forth, hyped up as having a gorgeous body, refined toughness, and speedy feet. In the bottom left, Treasure President Masaru Matsumoto appears, holding Sonic and Tails plushies. His message reflects on the intense 1994 game industry landscape, crowded with new high-spec systems from companies like Commodore, 3DO, Atari, Sega, Sony, NEC, and Nintendo. He notes the impressive hardware power, highlighting the challenges of competition and the potential for rushed, mediocre games. Matsumoto states, Treasure is focusing on developing for the Sega 32X and aims to be a leader in next-gen software, asking for continued support. On the right, a section called Non-Chan's First DreamNet invites fan submissions. Fans send in postcards detailing their dreams and requests for games on next-gen machines. The illustrations show characters eating burgers and other drawings submitted by fans, with prizes like a Ganhi CD or special telephone card awarded for featured submissions. This page presents a diverse look into the industry and specific games. The Industry Lecture for the Hopeless column, featuring Yayama Sensei, offers a critical perspective on the current game market, observing a saturation of similar titles like fighting games and RPGs, and lamenting a perceived decline in innovation, feeling that ideas are being overshadowed by hardware capabilities. A humorous Treasures game Sugoroku visually depicts the often chaotic journey of game development at the studio, illustrating steps from the initial start through encountering big bug, and even a main programmer vanishes event before finally reaching release. The Otaku's recommendation section spotlights the Sega Mega Drive classic, Echo the Dolphin. The reviewer expresses admiration for the game's stunning underwater visuals and immersive atmosphere, but humorously notes a personal dislike for the name Echo. The page also includes the concluding entry of Minako's heartful essay, an editor's postscript mentioning a recent project cancellation, a short manga panel, and information on sending postcards to the editorial department. This page features a column by Eric C. Sedensky titled Captivating Game Experience Log, focusing on Mutant League Football, referred to as MLF. The author immediately hails it as a must-buy software, highlighting its unique blend of violence, black humor, and clever gags. The game is praised for its satirical take on American football, featuring mutant players and referees. The humor comes from various elements, including player names which are often puns or dark jokes, such as Lucifer, sounding like Lucifer, and referee names like I See Nothing. Messages appearing in the game also add to the dark comedy, like Nail Hammered By or Panzer Shocked by Fright. The reviewer notes that while real football has rules against unnecessary roughness, MLF hilariously penalizes kindness. A screenshot shows the game's interface with monster player portraits and team names like Maniac All-Stars, further emphasizing the game's bizarre and violent nature. The column concludes by mentioning that MLF's popularity in America led to the development of other titles like Mutant League Hockey and Racing, underscoring its distinct appeal. Jam Ojisan's column discusses the 1990s game market's year-end/New Year rush, highlighting the overwhelming choice of over 100 new releases. Despite the Mega Drive's success, the recession's impact is analyzed, with significant price drops on Super Famicom consoles and software. The column predicts the next-generation console war hinges on attracting skilled third-party developers, particularly with Sony's entry and strong support from established developers like Namco and Konami. Sega faces a challenge, and the author emphasizes the importance of new software talent like that behind The Story of the Dreaming Mansion, Night Trap, and Kirisu. The table details software releases for various platforms, emphasizing competition. The column concludes with a Teach Me Jam-san question and answer section, offering prizes for reader inquiries. Agi Nihiyaku's article celebrates the Macintosh game Out of This World, praising its innovative use of polygon-based 2D animation. The game, despite a simple story of a physicist's alien adventure, features smooth character animation and dynamic cutscenes, achieved through a technique that allowed for more content on a single floppy disk. The reviewer notes the game's critical acclaim, including awards for animation, and suggests its artistic direction and meticulous scene composition offer valuable lessons for modern game development. The article emphasizes that this innovative technique, exemplified in the game Flashback by the same team, surpasses mere hardware advancements and focuses on the importance of effective game design. This page is Report 7 of Rai Sugimoto's regular column, Sugimoto's Laboratory. Ri talks about her work around the end of the year, particularly enjoying school festivals and the food from the stalls. She also mentions her fondness for shooting games at festivals. The main topic is her experience playing the light gun game Lethal Enforcers. She recounts how she died quickly when she first tried it at an arcade, but got hooked when playing the home version. She managed to progress quite far on the home release, even getting past the challenging highway level, which features difficult-to-avoid civilian cars and motorcycles. She notes the game feels slightly different from the arcade, but is still enjoyable at home. The page includes a screenshot of the game and details its price and December 1993 release date. There's also a section where she talks about receiving an apple from students at Fukuyama University and her struggle to peel it neatly. Finally, the column thanks readers for sending postcards and provides the mailing address for fan mail, mentioning a calendar prize draw. This page presents a dramatic narrative feature centered around the St. 2 Academy's Street 2 Club, facing potential abolition unless they succeed in the annual Street 2 tournament against the Girls Club. The story highlights the rivalry and the Boys Club's desperate need for new talent, introducing American street fighter Tyson and Russian wrestler Kopylov, who join existing member Hitoshi under the guidance of leader Osamu. The feature delves into gameplay strategy for Super Street Fighter 2, focusing on character compatibility. Osamu instructs his new recruits, leading to a discussion where Tyson expresses interest in playing Balrog, and Kopylov favors Zangief, prompting Osamu to discuss the character's strengths and weaknesses. A table provides editorial insights into character matchups, indicating which pairings are advantageous or disadvantageous. There's also a dedicated guide offering tactics on how to effectively fight E. Honda, noting his powerful close-range abilities and suggesting strategies to overcome him. The page includes brief introductions to the key characters involved in the narrative. Finally, the St. 2 Circle section features Chizuko, a first-year member, reflecting on the feature's evolution and offering a final character prediction for Ken. The next page presents the member roster for the Holy Street 2 Academy's Boys and Girls Super Street Fighter 2 clubs. It lists the key players and the characters they main in the game, including Osamu as Ryu, Tyson playing Balrog, Esaku using Vega, and Kopylov as Zangief for the boys, while the girls team features Seiko with Sagat, Elizabeth as Blanca, Yuki using Dulcim, Kyoko playing Guile, and Raika mastering Chun-Li. The narrative continues, detailing the highly anticipated tournament between the clubs. The matches are tough, with players on both sides being eliminated. The boys' team faces setbacks as their key players struggle. The tension builds towards the final match, a showdown between the two club leaders, Osamu as Ryu and Reika as Chun-Li. Despite a fierce battle showcasing both characters' unique techniques, Osamu's Ryu ultimately secures the victory. The story arc concludes with a look at the future, as Hitoshi and Kyoko reflect on their time at the academy after graduation, hinting that the spirit of St. 2 and the rivalry will continue in a new chapter. This page effectively wraps up the tournament storyline and transitions to what's next for the characters. This page presents the upcoming software schedule for the Sega Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Mega LD platforms. It provides a snapshot of what players could look forward to across these systems, with release dates, prices, developers, genres, and cartridge sizes, or other compatibility notes listed. For the Mega Drive, there's a mix of genres planned, including fighting games like Art of Fighting and Mortal Kombat, sports titles such as Hyperdunk and 2020 Super Baseball, action games like Cool Spot and 2, the arcade game, and RPGs. Several unreleased or later release titles are also listed as TBD, including potential heavy hitters like Streets of Rage 3, listed as Bare Knuckle 2i, and Sonic the Hedgehog 3. The Mega CD section also highlights a variety of games, from RPGs like Shin Megami Tensei and Lunar, the Eternal Blue, to action and adventure titles. The schedule shows some games with specific hardware requirements, like 6-button controller or mouse support. Finally, the Mega LD section shows a much smaller list, with Space Invaders, listed as Space Berserker, and a few other titles, primarily listed as TBD. Overall, this page gives gamers a clear view of the exciting lineup of games expected for Sega's platforms, showcasing the continued support and diverse offerings available. The next page provides the latest software schedule, focusing initially on the Sega Game Gear lineup, listing upcoming titles like Battletoads 2, the arcade game, and Sonic Drift, along with their details. The main feature of this page, however, is the collection of New Year's messages from various game developers and publishers. Companies such as Capcom, Konami, Game Arts, Acclaim Japan, Victor Entertainment, and Messiah extend holiday greetings, and sometimes drop subtle hints about their plans for the year ahead. The editorial section reflects on the exciting developments around the upcoming Sega Saturn and celebrates recent triumphs on the Mega Drive, specifically highlighting Treasure's critically acclaimed Gunstar Heroes, while also building anticipation for major releases like the highly anticipated Streets of Rage 3. This page offers a festive glimpse into the industry's outlook for the new year. This page details how readers should fill out the magazine's survey postcard. It instructs readers on marking their responses for questions covering personal details like gender, age, and occupation, as well as querying their gaming habits, including the number of Mega Drive games owned and which gaming magazines they read. The survey also asks for feedback on the current issue, specifically which articles were most and least interesting. Furthermore, it asks readers which gaming machines they own and which games they are interested in purchasing from a provided list, featuring titles like Outrunners, Wing Commander, Mortal Kombat, Streets of Rage 3, and many others spanning various genres. The latter half of the page is dedicated to announcing the winners of the December issue's Reader Present Draw, listing recipients for prizes such as Mega Drive software, Game Gear systems, and various game-related merchandise. This page delves into the world of Pioneer's laser-active system, focusing on a title named Melon Brains. This software explores the intriguing aspects of dolphins, from their advanced brains and potential for communication with humans to the mystery of why they are so captivating. The interactive title is noted for using CG to offer a dolphin's viewpoint. The staff involved are introduced, including the significant figure of John Circa Lilly, known for his dolphin communication research. The page also provides an update on the Laseractive's progress in '94, mentioning strong early sales figures and generally positive user reactions regarding performance. The discussion touches on the platform's ongoing development and future plans to expand its software library with diverse content. This page kicks off the Mega Hot menu section, highlighting new releases for the Mega Drive. The main focus is squarely on Streets of Rage 3, Bare Knuckle 2i in Japan, featuring a deep dive into its combat with the title, "This month is all about special moves." The article emphasizes the significant increase in graphical patterns and new special moves compared to the previous entry, noting the game is 80% complete and includes a two-player versus mode. Several screenshots showcase the enhanced visuals and action, depicting key characters like Axel and Blaze, fighting diverse enemies and bosses across various levels, from traditional dojos to modern urban environments like bars and construction sites. The reviewer is impressed by the variety and personality of the bosses, pointing out unique characters like the judo sub-boss in Stage 1 and a kickboxing kangaroo, and the twin sisters Yasha and Aniheim as bosses in Stage 2. The page gives a taste of the game's expanded content and impressive presentation. This page continues the look at Streets of Rage 3, diving deep into the significantly changed special move system. The big news is the shift from the old health cost system to a time charge meter for basic special moves, meaning you can use them without losing health once the meter is full. However, using them when the meter isn't fully charged will still cost some life, depending on how full it is. The page also explains the weapon special move system, where weapon durability decreases with use, breaking when it reaches 0. Characters have different proficiencies with weapons, affecting damage and effectiveness. The article showcases the special moves of the main characters, Axel, Blaze, Skate, Sammy in Japanese, and Zan. Axel is shown with his grand upper and dragon moves. Blaze displays her flying slice, along with knife and sword special moves. Skate features his dynamite headbutt and various weapon specials. Zan, the new cyborg character, shows off his unique electric attacks like Thunderbolt and Power Spark. The developer's comment at the bottom highlights the increased number of techniques and improved controls, humorously asking about the whereabouts of Adam Hunter from the first game. This page delves into the Mega Drive title, Yu Yu Hakusho Gaiden, which is an adventure game punctuated by action combat sequences. It features the core cast of Yusuke, Kuwabara, Kurama, and Hiei, promising that the unique charm of each character is vividly expressed. The game progresses through individual sub-scenarios for each character before converging into a common story arc, with different endings possible based on player choices. Combat is a key element, occurring during the sub-scenarios. Winning battles grants HP increases, and players can re-challenge fights if they lose. The basic moves include punches and kicks, but the highlight is the flashy special techniques. The article showcases Yusuke's Spirit Gun, Kuwabara's Spirit Sword, Kurama's Rose Whip, and Hiei's Dragon of the Darkness Flame, noting their power and visual flair. Winning these fights triggers character-specific clear screens, with Kuwabara's being particularly amusing. The page also offers glimpses into the character-specific plots. Yusuke training with Genkai, Kuwabara finding his delinquent friends have started studying, Kurama investigating a barrier related to his mother, and Hiei confronting a returning force tied to his past. The game emphasizes the fun derived from these action-packed battles and character interactions. This page continues the look at Yu Yu Hakusho Gaiden on the Mega Drive, focusing on the adventure and interaction elements. It highlights how the character's emotional states, like Yusuke's fear or Kuwabara's defiance, act as power-up elements crucial for breaking barriers. The main section details the dialogue, action commands system. This is the core of the adventure gameplay, allowing players to interact with their environment and fellow characters. Examples show various scenarios, finding dead ends, discovering hidden switches, and characters reacting to strange places or objects through dialogue. The action command isn't just for movement. It can trigger events and even initiate combat in some cases. The page illustrates interactions with objects like a pool of blood and navigating obstacles like a gigantic needle mountain, revealing unexpected truths about the environment, such as the mountain being a giant hedgehog demon. Panels also pose questions to the player, asking to identify locations or mysterious figures encountered. Finally, the page concludes with Yusuke, Kuwabara, Kurama, and Hiei issuing a challenge to the Chuju, ready to confront the powerful foe. This page dives into the Sega Mega Drive version of Art of Fighting, emphasizing that the story mode is its true highlight. While acknowledging the removal of the Neo Geo's signature zoom feature, the article praises this port for its focus on versus battles and its own unique charm, encouraging players to become Ryo and unravel the mystery of his sister Yuri's kidnapping in Southtown. The narrative structure is laid out, starting with the prologue detailing Yuri's disappearance and Ryo's arrival in the street fighting hub of Southtown. Subsequent chapters cover key encounters at the karate dojo and Max Bar, introducing pivotal characters like Robert Garcia, Mr. Karate, and Jack. Character profiles are provided for Ryo and Robert, touching upon their backgrounds and motivations. Gameplay insights highlight the Kyokugen Ryu style shared by Ryo, Robert, and Takuma, noting that mastering it provides a foundation for other characters. Tips are given for battle strategy, including triangle jumps, using Fierce Tiger Fist, Kuken, for control, and draining opponent energy with taunts. Super special moves, a key element, are revealed to be learnable only during the bonus stages in story mode. The page concludes with illustrated examples of essential techniques, demonstrating how to use cancel moves to prevent counterattacks and execute powerful finishers like the standing punch to piledriver combo against a stunned opponent. This Sega Mega Drive walkthrough continues the Art of Fighting story, detailing Ryo's journey through Chinatown, Restaurant La Mole, the naval base, and an abandoned factory, culminating in a fight against Mr. Karate. The walkthrough includes tips on mastering the game, focusing on kin energy management, baiting mistakes, and utilizing techniques like the triangle jump. A section previews Art of Fighting 2 for Neo Geo, featuring Yuri Sakazaki as a playable character and offering advice on versus mode. Screenshots illustrate key moments and characters throughout the walkthrough. This page previews the Mega Drive classic, Castlevania, the new generation, known as Vampire Killer in Japan. It features two key stages. Stage 2, an underground temple with a boss that drops rocks from the ceiling and requires you to duck to hit its weak point. And Stage 3, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The reviewer highlights the refined graphics and stage design, particularly the disorienting slanted perspective inside the tower. Stage 3 also introduces a branching path, depending on whether you play as John Morris or Eric Lacard, leading to different sections and boss encounters, though Eric's path is noted as being shorter. The page shows screenshots of the challenging environment, including unstable and rotating platforms, and teases the final boss battle atop the tower. This page continues the preview of Castlevania, the new generation, covering stages 4 and 5. Stage 4 takes place in a German armaments factory, overrun by evil, and featuring reanimated soldiers and chaotic machinery. This stage is highlighted for its challenging cogwheel mechanics, a series staple, with giant rotating gears and platforms that require careful timing to traverse due to varying speeds and directions. Screenshots show players navigating these complex environments, including massive pistons and a large rotating saw blade. The page teases an impending boss battle. Stage 5 transports players to the beautiful Palace of Versailles in France, rumored to be haunted by the ghost of Marie Antoinette. The article questions her connection to Dracula. The stage features overgrown plants in the palace grounds and a stunning interior with intricate details. As seen in Stage 3, this stage also offers a branching path depending on whether you play as John Morris or Eric Lecard. John explores sections like a wine cellar, while Eric navigates the rooftops. Screenshots showcase the ornate palace architecture and mention encounters with enemies like chandeliers and a powerful fountain boss. Finally, a message from the developers expresses their enjoyment and satisfaction with the ongoing development of the game, referring to it as a rampage in comparison to the previous stages shown. This page focuses on the critically acclaimed cinematic platformer, Flashback. It picks up the story from the previous installment's introduction, detailing the protagonist, Conrad, as he attempts to regain his memory and reach Earth. The article highlights the game's signature smooth, realistic animation and its compelling cybernoir setting. We learn that after crash landing, Conrad finds a holocube message from himself, instructing him to find his friend Ian in New Washington. The page guides us through this early part of the journey, emphasizing environmental navigation, interaction, and combat against mysterious enemies. Key moments include performing challenging jumps and using items like an amisoid card obtained from rescuing an old man from mutants. The ultimate goal is revealed to be reaching Earth to expose a mutant conspiracy. But the ticket is expensive. Conrad must find Jack via the subway to help obtain a forged passport and participate in a deadly game called Death Tower to earn the passage. The article also explains the utility of the force field item given by Ian, which provides temporary invincibility against attacks. Screenshots showcase various environments, like the jungle, futuristic cityscapes, and the subway system, alongside examples of platforming and item use. Flashback, published by Sunsoft, is described as an action game available now. This page continues the flashback journey, detailing Conrad's efforts to earn the expensive 1,500 credits needed for a forged passport to Earth from a character named Jack. Since he cannot go back on his word to Jack, Conrad must take on various jobs. These include tasks like package delivery, eliminating cyborgs or mutants, repairing generators, and escorting VIPs, each offering different credit rewards. Upon earning the required 1,500 credits, Conrad successfully obtains the passport. The next step is to acquire the ticket to Earth, which is implied to be gained by participating in the Death Tower Challenge. Death Tower is presented as a popular, life-or-death entertainment program where fighters compete. The objective is to climb the 8th-floor tower and defeat the boss at the top to receive a reward, presumably the Earth ticket. Screenshots illustrate the job types, the passport acquisition, and the structure of the Death Tower. The page outlines these key gameplay segments necessary for Conrad to achieve his ultimate goal of reaching Earth and exposing the mutant conspiracy. This page details the gameplay of Air Management 2, a deep airline simulation game where your goal is to build the world's #1 airline. You start by choosing one of 4 available airlines and must strategically manage it to achieve dominance. The game features 5 essential staff members who assist with various tasks, acting as your hands to navigate the global airline market. They handle negotiations for airport slots, advise on route expansion, and help with purchasing aircraft. You'll need to listen to their advice to succeed. Air Management 2 offers 4 scenarios, set in different historical periods, bringing air-appropriate aircraft into play. The difficulty can be adjusted across 5 levels, making the game accessible for both beginners and seasoned simulation players. It also supports up to 4 players for competitive play. Or you can use the watch mode to observe the AI or other players. You can even rename your airline to make it truly your own. Screenshots illustrate key game elements, including the staff interface, a regional performance report from 1972, difficulty selection screens, and player setup. There's also a visual breakdown of the process for establishing a new airline route, showing steps like deciding the route, securing airport slots, buying planes from manufacturers, and finally opening the route after paying the setup costs. The game focuses on these core strategic decisions required to grow your aviation empire. Air Management 2's strategy focuses on strategically expanding a global airline network. Success hinges on matching aircraft size to passenger demand and upgrading planes as routes grow, rather than adding flights. Key factors include aircraft range, fluctuating passenger counts, and airport slot limitations. The game analyzes 7 key airline areas: Europe, North America, Africa, South America, Southeast Asia, Middle East, Oceania, detailing expansion strategies. Establish a branch, build routes to it, and then expand within the new area. Each area's market size, challenges, and optimal starting cities are discussed. The developer emphasizes that success is achievable by adapting to changing conditions and focusing on expansion, encouraging players to enjoy the experience. This page features General Chaos, a unique real-time tactical game from Ida Victor that kicks off the new year with a bang. It blends strategy and action with a distinct American feel, showcased through its comical graphics and energetic sound. While the gameplay involves serious real-time commanding of units on diverse battlefields to eliminate the enemy, the presentation offers a hilarious contrast. Beginners are welcomed by the Chaos General himself, who provides direct guidance, making the game accessible. However, mastering the controls and employing calm, strategic judgment are crucial for success. Things can get up close and personal too, with units engaging in one-on-one brawls that require precise input, and thankfully, there's a training mode to practice these. The core conflict pits the Chaos General against the Havoc General in a race to capture each other's capital. The game supports various playstyles, including a one-player campaign guided by a flowchart, two-player competitive battles where one player controls the Havoc army, and even two-player cooperative play. The flow from the war room to the map, into battle, and then the battle report before the next turn or counterattack is clearly laid out, highlighting the blend of strategic planning and action. It's a game where winning is everything. This page dives deeper into the mechanics of General Chaos. It explains that special missions, like destroying specific targets, can be assigned by generals, offering bonus points if completed, though victory is achieved by eliminating all enemies regardless. The game categorizes soldiers by their weapons. Each weapon type, such as the chucker with hand grenades, gunner with a rifle, launcher with a bazooka, scorcher with a flamethrower, or blaster with dynamite, has distinct range and power, making it crucial to understand troop types. Medics are a valuable resource, allowing you to revive an incapacitated soldier once per battle, and you can call for one medic per map. Understanding team composition is vital. You choose one of 4 squads for each map, and their makeup varies. While most squads have 5 members, the commando unit has only 2, offering the advantage of direct character control. The page details the different squads. The scored team balanced for open ground, the commando unit for skilled players, the easy-to-use bulldog team specializing in luring and close combat, and the balanced but expert-level assault team. Finally, a note from the developer mentions a 4-player adapter for the US Genesis version, suggesting import shops for those looking to play the game in multiplayer. This page features the Game Cool Spot, based on the popular 7-Up mascot. The objective of the game is to rescue imprisoned friends who are locked away in cages at the end of each stage. To free your friends, you must collect a certain percentage of the scattered cool spots throughout the level, 60% in normal mode or 90% in hard mode, to break the cage's lock. As you navigate the stages, you'll encounter enemies that need to be defeated by shooting them. The game also guides you with arrow indicators pointing towards your destination. You can plant a flag to mark your progress, allowing you to restart from that point if you lose a life. Collecting the letters that spell Virgin also offers bonuses. Your health is represented by Cool Spot's face in the corner of the screen, which gradually melts as you take damage, indicating you're losing a life when it disappears entirely. There's also a time limit for each stage, and running out of time costs you a life. You can recover health by finding specific items scattered around. This platformer challenges you to explore, collect, and combat enemies to save your buddies. This page gives us a closer look at the variety of levels in Cool Spot. The game features a total of 11 stages, each holding one of Cool Spot's friends captive. You'll journey through diverse environments, from beaches and ports to building interiors and toylands, facing a wide array of enemies and overcoming different traps. 6 stages are highlighted. Shell Shock, a beach level where you traverse via hot air balloons. Pyre Pressure, set on a yacht requiring skilled rope climbing. Off-Day Wall, an indoor stage filled with hazards like rats and traps. Waiting Around, a water stage using floating objects and rockets. Toying Around, a complex toy-themed level. And Radical Rails, a fast-moving stage on rails. Collecting a high percentage of cool spots, 85% or more, unlocks bonus stages after completing a main level. The objective here is to collect the letter spelling Virgin within a time limit to earn continues. The publisher is enthusiastic about the game's release, noting Cool Spot's expressive animations and emphasizing the time limit as a key challenge to keep in mind. This page focuses on the Sega Mega Drive RPG, Maten no Sumetsu, or The Creation and Destruction of the Demonic Heaven, which is finally released after a long wait. The game is developed by Kodansha Research Institute, priced at 8,900 yen, and supports one player. The review covers the game's narrative, beginning with a prologue involving a demon's demise and a mysterious witness. The main character, Algonus, starts his adventure after his wounded father returns from a mission and instructs him to meet the king. The king tasks Algonus with finding a special medicinal herb for the queen, leading him on a quest that involves searching different towns and eventually rescuing his childhood friend, Lilith, from thieves. Screenshots display the world map perspective, combat encounters, and character portraits. The page points out that enemy characters like the Skeleton, Elder, Gold, and Dwarf are quite tough and appear often, suggesting players will need to level up frequently. The game apparently features a unique rental system, though its specific mechanics aren't detailed. The developer expresses relief and excitement that the game is finally complete and on sale, inviting players to experience it. This page announces the results of the 5th Mega Drive Academy Awards, based on votes from 4,316 readers of BeepMD magazine and covering games released between November 1992 and November 1993. It highlights the top titles that stood out among 116 contenders in what was described as an unprecedented battle. The top honor, the Best Work Award, went to Sylphid at number 1 with 1091 votes. This Mega CD title from GameArts is a stunning 3D rail shooter, and the developers expressed gratitude for the strong user support despite it being a new type of game. Following closely at number 2 is Puyo Puyo by Sega, a highly addictive puzzle game that garnered 798 votes. Compile, the developer, commented on their thankfulness for the award. Securing the third position with 605 votes is Gunstar Heroes from Treasure, a chaotic and critically acclaimed run-and-gun game. The Treasure staff humorously reflected on their early days developing the game without even having an office. The page also lists the rest of the top 10, which includes other standout titles like Shining Force 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Hyper Fighting, Streets of Rage 2, Sonic the Hedgehog CD, Echo the Dolphin, and the unique RPG Yume Minix. The editor notes that the results were largely predictable, praising Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Streets of Rage 2 for their strong showing, despite being released a year prior. The next page dives into the genre-specific awards from the 5th Mega Drive Academy. In the shooting category, the top spot goes to Sylphid on Mega CD. This visually stunning rail shooter from GameArts received enthusiastic support, with the developers expressing gratitude and promising continued innovation in future titles. Other notable games in the top ranks included the classic Thunder Force, IV, Night Striker, and Musha. The Action Award is claimed by Gunstar Heroes from Treasure. The staff humorously reacted to the win, urging readers who hadn't bought it yet to do so immediately. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition tied for a strong second place, showcasing the intense competition in this popular genre, which also featured Streets of Rage 2 and Rocket Knight Adventures. For RPGs, Shining Force 2 by Sega takes first place. The development team thanked fans for their continuous support for the series and pledged to keep making engaging RPGs. Other recognized titles included Illusion City and the Mega CD title Vave. Finally, the Simulation Award is won by Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2-1, Dragon of Destiny from Koei. Koei's staff acknowledged the dominance of their titles in the relatively small simulation market on the Mega Drive, and promised to develop new kinds of simulation games, leveraging the hardware's capabilities. Other games like Mega Schwarzschild and the horse racing sim Winning Post also ranked highly. This page presents the results for several more genre awards from the 5th Mega Drive Academy. In the sports category, the winner is J-League Pro Striker, with the developers expressing gratitude and mentioning an upcoming updated version. Other notable mentions included World Championship Soccer and PGA Tour Golf 2. The review notes the category's dominance by the winner and questions if the 10th place game truly fits the sports genre. The Other Genres Award, covering puzzle, adventure, and miscellaneous titles, goes to the highly popular Puyo Puyo. The development team is delighted and sees the game setting a new standard. The category also featured games like Yu Yu Hakusho, Switch, Columns 2 Eyes, and Monkey Island. The commentary highlights Puyo Puyo's overwhelming win and the strong showing by Columns 2 for ported works. The undisputed champion is Street Fighter II Special Champion Edition. Capcom thanked users and expressed their desire to create games that truly showcase the Mega Drive. Other strong ports recognized included Final Fight, Gauntlet, Art of Fighting, and Lethal Enforcers. Finally, the Third-Party Works Award is won by Sylpheed from Game Arts for the second consecutive year. Game Arts is honored by the award and promises to continue delivering high-quality titles. The category also saw Street Fighter II Special Champion Edition, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Rocket Knight Adventures rank highly. This page details the winners for the sports, other genres, ported, and third-party game awards from the 5th Mega Drive Academy. The 5th Mega Drive Academy Awards recognized outstanding technical and creative achievements. Sonic the Hedgehog CD won Best Music, praised for its unique CD audio. Streets of Rage 2 and Sylpheed followed. Sylpheed took Best Graphics for its polygonal visuals, with Echo the Dolphin and Gunstar Heroes also strong contenders. Shining Force 2 won Best Scenario for its engaging strategic battles, followed by Beyond Oasis and Illusion City. The awards highlighted the quality of music and graphics, often strengths in notable Mega Drive games. This page details the winners for the Best Idea, Best Technology, and Best Package/Art Awards at the 5th Mega Drive Academy Awards. Gunstar Heroes took the top spot for Best Idea, recognized for its innovative design and unexpected mechanics. Sylpheed was runner-up, praised for its use of polygons, with the quirky puzzle game Switch placing third. The new Best Technology Award went to Sylpheed, highlighting its technical prowess. Gunstar Heroes and Xranzo were also strong contenders. Developers expressed satisfaction with Sylpheed's achievement after a long development cycle. Echo the Dolphin won the Best Package/Art Award for its beautiful and artistic box art. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog CD, Sylpheed, and Gunstar Heroes also received high marks for their packaging, reinforcing the importance of strong visual presentation. The page includes images of the winning games and their box art, showcasing diverse styles. This page continues the 5th Mega Drive Academy Awards, focusing on character and item categories. The Best Male Character Award sees Sonic the Hedgehog claim the top spot once again, recognized for his continued popularity across systems. Boy from Shining Force 2 and Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog 2 round out the top 3. For Best Female Character, Arle Naja from Puyo Puyo takes first place, highlighting the game's strong performance. Yoshizawa Hiromi from Yumemi Nikki and Pai from Sei Maju Densetsu are also popular contenders. The reviewer notes a shift in trends reflected in the voting for this category. The Best Enemy Award celebrates the villains. Smash Daisaku from Gunstar Heroes surprisingly wins the category, followed by Seven Force, also from Gunstar Heroes, and the classic Drive Eggman from the Sonic series. The commentary mentions the fun of recognizing enemy characters. Finally, the Best Item Award highlights useful and unique in-game objects. The Pianta sandals from Shining Force 2 are the top item, with Carbuncle and Ojama Puyo from Puyo Puyo also highly ranked. The reviewer expresses appreciation for this diverse category. The page features images of the top characters and items. This page covers the Sensational Topics Award and the Bamaru Game Grand Prize, reflecting on the standout moments and quirky games of 1993. The Sensational Topics Award highlights the year's biggest news. Taking the top spot is Sega's announcement of its next-generation console, generating significant buzz. Following closely is Capcom's entry into the Mega Drive world, marked by the release of Street Fighter II, a huge event that excited fans. The third major topic was the minor redesign of the Mega Drive itself, releasing the more compact Mega Drive 2. The year was filled with diverse events, from major game ports and hardware news to industry challenges like company bankruptcies. The Bamaru Game Grand Prize celebrates games with a unique, slightly eccentric, or just right amount of crazy quality. The top award goes to Switch by Sega, a puzzle game featuring blocks and characters, with developers expressing joy over the concept finding its time. In second place is Ah Hari Manada, a sumo wrestling game also by Sega, and third is James Pond 2, Robocod from Ita Victor. This category showcases a different side of gaming beyond mainstream hits. The page concludes by thanking voters and encouraging participation in the next awards. This page opens the Mega CD press section, previewing upcoming releases like Heimdall, Dungeon Master 2, and Record of Lodos War, with the primary focus here being the unusual shooter, Microcosm. Microcosm takes players on a wild journey into the nanospace within the human body, described humorously as more like surgery than internal medicine. You navigate this strange landscape, controlling different forms. Initially, you pilot a probe pod, later upgrading to the more aggressive hunter-killer for high-speed pursuit, and finally the evasuit for navigating tight, otherwise inaccessible areas. The game features smooth, high-level visuals depicting movement through environments like blood vessels and encounters with biological entities. To combat the internal threats, a variety of weapons are at your disposal. Beyond standard firing options like single, double, and triple shots, you have specialized armaments, including homing missiles, powerful lasers, a sonic weapon for area damage, and a defensive special barrier. This variety allows for strategic engagement with the bizarre enemies encountered within the body. Released on February 25th for 8,800 yen by Victor Entertainment, this single-player title promises a unique experience for those fascinated by the squiggly, gooey world inside us, offering a chance to explore it in a way typically impossible. This page continues the detailed look at Microcosm, outlining the game's structure and challenges. It breaks down the experience into distinct phases, or acts. Act 1 sees players entering the pod bay, a crucial base of operations within the body, accessed after defeating an initial boss. From here, you switch to the agile hunter-killer craft to pursue enemy nanomachines attempting kamikaze attacks. This segment focuses on swift movement and engaging targets, highlighting the upgraded weapons available to the hunter-killer. Act 2 throws players into a high-stakes chase sequence. The target isn't a one-hit wonder but has a damage meter, requiring sustained assault while fending off other enemies. The stakes are high. Failure to catch the target results in the death of the president, the body's host. Successful shootdowns lead back to the safety of the pod bay. Act 3 pushes deeper into the biological landscape. You navigate increasingly complex environments, facing larger and more precise enemy nanomachines, demanding awareness of attacks from all directions. Finally, the boss is detailed. This formidable foe attacks by swinging like a pendulum, embedding rods into the ceiling. Its weak point is a core at the rear, but this core is also a threat itself. Players must time their attacks and utilize evasive maneuvers to avoid the intense barrage from both the main body and the exposed core. The preview emphasizes the impressive visual spectacle of the boss's movements and attacks. This page focuses on the RPG Heimdall. It highlights that the game, a popular IBM PC title, has been ported to the Mega CD. It's described as an action RPG with an isometric perspective, featuring real-time character movement, set within Norse mythology. The game incorporates numerous traps and items, blending RPG and adventure elements. The Mega CD version adds new opening and ending sequences and original battles. The page details sub-games, which are mini-games you must play before embarking on the main adventure. There are 3: axe throwing, pig chasing, and ship battle. Success in these mini-games determines which and how many excellent companions you can bring with you. Following the sub-games is the choice section, where you select your party members. Companion parameters are shown via icons: an arm for strength, a foot for dexterity, quickness, dice for luck, a heart for health, and a hand for magic power. Character portraits are displayed, and the reviewer comments on their sometimes intimidating appearance, questioning if they might actually be good people. This Heimdall guide details navigation on the Mega CD RPG's world map, starting with accessible islands northeast of the initial location. Players then enter isometric maps, where varied adventures unfold, progressing the story through item acquisition and enemy encounters. The item screen allows managing inventory, using items, including food, spells, and objects, and saving/loading/deleting data. Combat involves a flee/fight option, followed by commands like attack and defend. Timing attacks and cautious defense are emphasized. 2 example scenarios. Exploring a southern island with a puzzle and a suspicious fire on an upper island are presented, prompting further exploration and item use. This page features Dungeon Master 2, Skullkeep for the Mega CD, a real-time RPG scheduled for a March release. Described as a challenging experience, the article offers a guide on navigating the early parts of the game, from selecting your character to venturing outside and finding the keys needed to enter the castle. Compared to the first Dungeon Master, Skullkeep expands beyond the dungeon to include outdoor areas like castles and gardens. The reviewer notes that even with a general understanding of the story, knowing how to proceed can be tricky, emphasizing the importance of observation and interaction with the environment. Items, weapons, and food drop frequently, sometimes in hidden spots, making exploration rewarding, but also requiring caution against traps. The page also provides a list of early game monsters you'll encounter, including bats, grops, thieves, digger worms, wolves, thorn demons, and axemen, each with a brief description and image. Screenshots showcase the first-person perspective, the detailed inventory system, and even the alchemy system, where you can craft items like antidotes. This guide aims to help players prepare for the surprises and challenges that await in Skullkeep. This page previews Battle Fantasia on the Mega CD from Micronet. This fantasy-themed fighting game is noted for its relatively simple control scheme, using just the directional buttons and 3 action buttons, aiming for accessibility. A key feature is the use of voice actors and CD-quality sampled audio. Beyond standard versus matches, the game includes other modes. 10 characters are introduced, including Guy the Ninja, MacDial the Masked Fighter, Argos the Dwarf, Coldy the Werewolf, Harrier the Birdwoman, Kirkus the Avenger, Cybard the Giant, or Sarah the Martial Artist, and Lepier the Elf. The unique aspect highlighted is the Raising mode, an RPG-like mode, where action sequences become vertical scrolling shooters. In this mode, players accept quests from a guild and face bosses, with each character having a unique introductory demo. This page delves into the upcoming Shin Megami Tensei for the Sega CD. The game is highlighted as being 80% complete and is set for a February 18th release at 7,800 yen. A significant feature is the confirmation of mouse support in addition to the standard 6-button pad, with on-screen icons indicating movement options controllable via the mouse. The core loop of increasing your demonic allies and the fundamental demon fusion system are explained as being familiar but expanded. The page shows how players can recruit demons through negotiation during battles, offering items or money to persuade them. Examples of successful and unsuccessful conversations are provided. The crucial demon fusion mechanic is detailed, allowing players to combine demons to create new, more powerful ones. However, there are important rules governing fusion, such as restrictions based on the protagonist's level and alignment, law/chaos, which can prevent certain fusions or prevent summoned demons from joining the party. Demons created via fusion can be added to your active party. The article emphasizes that while fusion is powerful, not all demons can be created, adding strategic depth to the process. This page previews the scenario of Shin Megami Tensei on Mega CD, following the protagonist's arrival in Shinjuku. It recaps the dream of meeting 2 boys and a girl, leading to the protagonist discovering demons now infest the city. Using an ID card obtained after defeating a demon at Echo Building, the protagonist enters Shinjuku Terminal. Here, the hero faces the man from the dream again. Upon winning, the protagonist's dog, Pascal, is sucked into a transfer device. Shinjuku itself is chaotic, overrun by demons. Information emerges about major power players, the Gaia Church and Messiah Church, along with military forces led by Thor and Goto's self-defense force. A mysterious third force, the Resistance, also exists, seemingly led by the girl from the dream, though she is soon captured. The page highlights the conflict between Thor and Goto, who represent opposing views on how to handle the demon crisis. The protagonist interacts with both, but finds them unwilling to compromise. Screenshots show the leaders of the Gaia Church, Lucifer, and the Messiah Church. The narrative culminates in a dramatic revelation. Thor is actually a demon. He activates a nuclear missile launch. Following this catastrophic event, the protagonist mysteriously wakes up in an unfamiliar location. The complex web of conflicting factions and escalating danger promises an intense story. This page is a preview of the upcoming Record of Lodos wargame for the Mega CD. It highlights that the game is now 60% complete and gives a glimpse into its world and mechanics. The article covers various aspects, including the message screens, field visuals, and the battle system. The message screens are dynamic, showing character portraits with expressions accompanying the text, which helps convey emotion. The field screens depict the world, such as the entrance to the Goblin Cave shown here. The battle system is described as a turn-based simulation, RPG, similar to games like Shining Force or Langrisser. When encountering an enemy, you enter the battle screen. Characters have commands like attack, move, magic, and item. Selecting Move or Magic displays the effective range on the map. Battles feature a dynamic camera perspective that shifts depending on whose turn it is, even showing the enemy's back if you attack from behind. Magic attacks are highlighted as particularly flashy with impressive graphics. The reviewer seems optimistic about the game capturing the essence of the Lodos world on the Mega CD platform. This page delves further into the upcoming record of Lodos Wargame for Mega CD, focusing on the starting village of Zaxxon, the birthplace of Parn and Ito. It confirms the village is located in the northeastern part of Lodos Island, within the Kingdom of Arania, and is a truly rural place. The page features an overhead map view of Zaxxon, and highlights key locations with small interior screenshots and brief descriptions. You can visit the village chief's house, where the chief is respected by everyone. Slane's house is shown, noting he was a teacher here before joining Parn. The temple, though in a small village, is large and suggests strong faith. The market allows you to buy weapons and tools like short and long swords, essential gear for adventuring. Finally, the tavern is a great place to gather information and offers lodging upstairs. The page also introduces the main characters in detail, confirming that they are faithfully represented. Parn's core companions are shown: Deedlit the High Elf Shaman, Eto the Priest of Phalis, Slane the Sorcerer, a former teacher and graduate of Arania's Sages Guild, Gim the Dwarf Warrior, who is searching for Lelia, and Woodchuck the Scout, a former thief. Other key figures from the Lodos story are also featured, including King Fawn of Valis, King Kashue of Flame, the mercenary king, and Lelia, the High Priestess of Marfa, whom Gim is seeking. The character portraits look great, and their brief bios provide context for fans. This page introduces Ishi Hisaichi no Deisekai for the Mega CD, a political simulation game based on the characters of cartoonist Ishi Hisaichi. Set in the fictional nation of Itzapan, the game tasks you, chosen from 10,000 people, with becoming a political powerhouse. Your main objective is to groom the character Kunieda Kazuo, initially a businessman, into a Diet member and ultimately the Prime Minister, with you serving as his secretary. The game is described as less of a strict simulation and more of a character-driven experience, emphasizing that it's not difficult to play. Gameplay involves various activities crucial for political ascent. You'll need to gather connections and funds, using contacts like the wealthy Tokugawa elder. Information gathering is key, often done by watching TV news to learn about regional issues. You can also conduct investigations and engage in various activities to build achievements and influence. The game even includes a gambling minigame where you can try to earn political funds, though success is not guaranteed. Kanji support is available up to the first level for naming characters. Various screenshots highlight the game's interface, including character portraits, map views, menu options, and minigame screens. This page continues to showcase the political simulation game Ishi Hisaichi no Deisekai for the Mega CD. Following the initial setup, the game moves into a key phase, the election campaign to become a Diet member. The core gameplay revolves around navigating a map of the electoral district. Much like a board game, your objective is to travel around, gathering campaign workers, and engaging in activities like speeches and publicity events to collect votes. The game emphasizes that television appearances can be highly effective for gaining votes, but warns that elections are costly affairs. You'll face three main rivals as you compete for support. Specific actions include delivering speeches, which are decided via a slot machine-like interface, with success or failure impacting your vote count and popularity. Gathering campaign workers is also crucial for increasing your reach. The game even includes the option of bribery, though there's a risk of getting caught and losing workers. You have a strict 60-day time limit to secure victory in the election. The page also touches upon other events, like potentially holding a beauty contest, perhaps as a way to gain popularity or influence. After the election segment concludes, the game progresses, hinting at the next stage and the ultimate goal of becoming Prime Minister. The screenshots illustrate the game map, character interactions, campaign menus, and election results. This page focuses on the upcoming Mega CD title, Urusei Yatsura, Dear My Friends. Development is progressing well, currently sitting at 80% completion for this adventure game. The article highlights the ongoing work on the game's system and, notably, its visual scenes. Game Arts is handling the development, a studio known for their strong character work in games like Lunar. The page features prominent illustrations of key characters, Lum and Ataru, along with smaller sequential screenshots showcasing an animation demo. These scenes depict various characters from the series, including moments like Ataru interacting with others and, true to form, getting zapped by Lum's electricity. The visual style appears faithful to the anime, promising fans a familiar and engaging experience with their favorite chaotic cast. This page continues our look at the upcoming Mega CD adventure game, Urusei Yatsura. Dear My Friends. It focuses on the game's simple point-and-click interface, highlighting its mouse compatibility. Movement between rooms is handled by clicking on highlighted exits or points within the scene, as demonstrated by examples in the entrance and living room areas. Beyond just moving, you can also investigate objects within a room by clicking on them, with different items triggering unique reactions. The kitchen is shown as an example, featuring interactive elements like the ventilation fan, rice cooker, and refrigerator. The article mentions that the game encourages players to explore thoroughly, as hidden interactive points are scattered throughout the environments. Looking ahead, the preview section teases a major reveal for the next issue. A completely new character, original to the Mega CD version, will be introduced, hinting at their importance to the game's story and subtitle. The page features illustrations of the game's characters, including Lum and Ataru, and asks, "Who is this child?" referencing the new character. This page features a look at the action game Papunland, subtitled Geikiguge Goripon, Papip Papun, releasing on March 25th for 7,800 yen. The game centers around saving children from the wizard Taipa in the dream world. A major highlight is the character creation system, allowing players to combine parts to create their own unique hero and nurture them. Screenshots showcase various custom characters, as well as diverse stages and enemies. Quotes from some of the bosses are also included, giving a glimpse into their personalities. The bottom section offers Mega CD XS information. It notes that the Mega CD is now in its third year, and the quality of software being released is finally starting to improve. Winners for the Sonic CD Time Trial Contest are being announced. There's also news about a CD version of Joe Montana Football featuring enhanced visuals, and a mention of Virtual Cinema X101, described as a virtual cinema experience. This article celebrates Sega's Christmas-themed Disney games for Mega Drive and Game Gear, released from 1990 onwards. Highlights include Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, Mega Drive, praised for its visuals, and Fantasia, featuring impressive animation but challenging gameplay. Quackshot starring Donald Duck stands out for its puzzle elements. The Game Gear version of Castle of Illusion surpasses typical Game Gear quality, while Lucky Dime Caper starring Donald Duck adds new actions, and Mickey's Magical Quest utilizes a large room cartridge for exceptional visuals. The article emphasizes the successful Sega-Disney partnership, creating visually appealing games with thoughtful design suitable for all ages. This page showcases two more fantastic Sega-Disney collaborations. At the top we have Disney's Aladdin for the Mega Drive, a visually stunning action platformer released shortly after the hit movie. The article highlights the high technical skill involved in its creation, noting that the development process was similar to the film itself, resulting in incredibly fluid animation and detail. Gameplay emphasizes dynamic actions like jumping, climbing, and sword fighting, making it a challenging but rewarding experience. Below that is World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, originally known as Fushigi na Magic Box, which is being celebrated with a re-release. This title features Mickey and Donald as magicians in a whimsical world. The review praises its beautiful Disney-esque backgrounds, accessible difficulty, and, importantly, its two-player co-op mode, allowing friends to team up. It's described as a masterpiece that perhaps didn't get the attention it deserved upon its initial release, being overshadowed at the time. Screenshots show vibrant gameplay from both titles, including Aladdin in action and Mickey exploring underwater and confectionery levels in World of Illusion. This page continues the discussion of the Sega Mega Drive Disney games. The first section focuses on Disney's Aladdin, emphasizing that success is all about timing, particularly on challenging later stages like Stage 6. It praises the game's technical prowess, noting the incredibly smooth character animations created by Disney animators and running at 60 frames per second, highlighting its award recognition as proof of its high quality. Even the magic carpet stages, while tricky initially, are described as fun and technically impressive with their fast movement. Overall, the reviewer considers Aladdin a world-class game with satisfying detail that makes you want to replay it. The second part covers World of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, It details playing as both Mickey and Donald across different levels, including stormy rock climbs, starry sky flights, tricky rapid descents, and cute town mini-sets. A key highlight is the cooperative two-player mode, where Mickey and Donald work together, often using ropes, making the experience more enjoyable and secure. Despite having only 5 stages, the game is praised for being packed with variety and being a fantastic display of Disney's charm, described as a wonderful action game that is not overly difficult. The next page features 2 Disney titles released on the Sega Game Gear. The first game is Disney's Donald Duck's 4 Treasures. This action-adventure game stars Donald Duck on a desert island, trying to find 4 hidden treasures to break a curse on Scrooge McDuck. The game allows players to start from any of the 4 main areas: valley, volcano, canyon, and estuary, each presenting unique challenges from platforming and enemies to environmental hazards like wind and underwater sections. Screenshots show gameplay from these distinct environments, and it notes Donald's companions, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, are also present. The second game covered is Disney's Aladdin for the Game Gear. While based on the Mega Drive version, this portable title has its own unique features. The review praises the beautiful graphics and smooth animation, and highlights the important role of Aladdin's monkey companion, Abu. It mentions the inclusion of stages featuring the genie and the magic carpet, noting the high-speed carpet sequences are particularly exciting. Screenshots show Aladdin navigating the market and a flying sequence on the magic carpet. This page delves into the world of Neo Geo, highlighting upcoming games and fan preferences. The main feature is Fighter's History Dynamite, the sequel to Data East's fighting game. It notes improvements like a simplified 4-button control scheme, new characters like the Taekwondo fighter Yunmi and the karate user Zaji, and the return of fan favorites like Karnov, now joined by characters previously unavailable. Special moves are emphasized, with Mizoguchi's Tiger Bazooka mentioned as particularly impressive. The page also includes a how to operate guide, illustrating the standard Neo Geo joystick and button layout. A fan poll reveals desired genres on the Neo Geo, showing a strong interest in shooting and action games, even surpassing fighting games for some respondents, alongside requests for RPG and sports titles. Finally, a spotlight is placed on Ninja Combat by ADK, described as a unique vertical-scrolling ninja action game with command-based special moves, though its niche appeal meant a sequel was unlikely. This page showcases new Game Gear titles released in February 1994, noting there are 8 new software releases this month. Featured are 2 games, Battletoads and Riddick Bow Boxing. Battletoads is presented as a port of the action game originating from the NES. The Game Gear version is highlighted for faithfully recreating the stage layouts, graphics, and character animations from the original, though the reviewer notes that the infamous high difficulty is also carried over. Particular enjoyment is drawn from gameplay elements like recovering health by eating bugs and being able to perform finishing moves on downed foes. Screenshots show various stages from the game. Riddick Bow Boxing is a sports title where players step into the ring to challenge the heavyweight champion. You start at rank 25 and work your way up by defeating opponents in a single-player career mode against 25 different boxers. There's also a 2-player mode available. The page mentions the goal of needing 40 wins to retire, and that winning matches allows you to train and improve your boxer's abilities. Screenshots display the character status, versus screen, and a knockdown. This page previews several promising upcoming Game Gear titles. It features Echo the Dolphin, noting it's a faithful port with smooth animation. Buster Fight is presented as a new fighting game entry, highlighting special moves and multiple characters joining the genre's popularity surge. A dedicated section focuses on anticipated titles, showcasing Sonic Drift, a racing game featuring Sonic characters and accessible drifting mechanics, and Shin Megami Tensei Gaiden: Last Bible, an RPG port from the Game Boy with completely redrawn full-color graphics. Also previewed are Donald Duck No Magical World, an action game where Donald uses a magic parasol, and Tantre, an arcade collection of party minigames like mazes and puzzles. The page conveys excitement for this diverse lineup of Game Gear software releases. This page of the BeepMD League focuses on the simulation game Dyna Brothers 2, revealing several hidden features unlockable via passwords. The main highlight is the hidden 2-player competitive mode called Dyna Fight. Players can access this unique mode by entering the password FIGHT or DASH on the password screen. Dash unlocks a version with 4 additional character types. The page also briefly explains the basic rock-paper-scissors style battle rules for Dyna Fight, and the simple controls involving A, B, and direction buttons. Furthermore, entering the password Shokai allows players to immediately view the game's character introduction sequence, showcasing the player-controlled dinosaurs. Finally, the page lists several passwords, like Beep, DB2, and Roulette, that unlock various hidden stages, offering diverse and sometimes bizarre map layouts for players to discover within the game. This page dives into the BeepMD Trick League, showcasing user-submitted tips and tricks for several Mega Drive titles. For Party Quiz Mega Q, you can access a sound test by simultaneously pressing A, B, and C buttons on the title screen when the menu isn't displayed. In BOB, players can get infinite lives and weapons by holding the B button on the 2P pad while turning on the console and waiting for the title screen. The Flintstones offers a stage select feature accessed from the title screen by holding left on the directional pad along with the A, B, and C buttons, then pressing start. The number of stages available depends on the difficulty chosen. For Night Trap, there's a quick reset method during gameplay. Hold A, B, and C buttons and press start to return to the title screen instantly. A handy Konami code variant is revealed for Rocket Knight Adventures. Enter up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A at the Konami logo, then hold the attack button, default A, and press start on the title screen to access a stage select, including Stage 7. Dark Wizard tips include changing unit names by selecting them and pressing start on the main or strategy screen, and a peculiar hidden scene in the bar area after drinking multiple times. A footnote also adds a trick for Powermonger, detailing a method to clear all maps using a button combination at startup. This page features the reader giveaway section for the February 1994 issue of BeepMD. Readers had the chance to win fantastic prizes, with the top ones being their choice of any Mega Drive, Mega CD, or Game Gear software released by the end of January 1994, offered to 30 winners for console titles and 5 for Game Gear. Other prizes included exclusive items like extra-large posters of the arcade hit Virtua Fighter, sound creds for Shining Force 2, and various calendars featuring popular game characters from Capcom titles, illustrations from Fatal Fury including Mei Shiranui, and different themed mini-calendars from Koei and others. Applying involved sending in a survey postcard from the magazine. The page also includes an information section touching on the excitement around upcoming next-generation consoles like the Sega Saturn and the magazine's direction, along with the staff list and contact details for reader inquiries about the issue's content. The next issue was scheduled for release on February 8th. This page features advertisements for 2 essential guidebooks for console gamers. The top section promotes the Mega Drive and Mega CD all-software catalog, a complete preservation edition. This comprehensive guide covers all 382 titles released up to November 30th, 1993, offering detailed explanations, info on peripherals, strategy tips, and even cheat codes. It's presented as a must-have for Mega Drive users and features the iconic character, Sonic the Hedgehog. The catalog spans various genres like action, shooting, RPGs, sports, simulation, puzzles, and more, priced at 950 yen. The bottom section promotes the Super Famicom All-Game Catalog Volume 1, currently on sale. This volume compiles data for 421 Super Famicom games, released up to October 31st, 1993. It includes game overviews, key points, strategy guide information, and even average scores from the magazine's charts. Peripherals like pads and joysticks are also introduced. Similar to the Mega Drive guide, it covers a broad spectrum of genres including action, shooting, RPGs, sports, puzzle games, and peripherals, also priced at 950 yen. This page showcases 2 upcoming titles published by Tengen. The upper half features Davis Cup Tennis, presented as a hot-blooded tennis game. It promises exciting gameplay with simultaneous 2-player action, including versus matches and doubles play. The game offers 5 different modes, such as the classic Davis Cup tournament and a championship mode where you travel the world earning prize money, perfect for any tennis enthusiast. It was scheduled for a February release. The lower half highlights Grindstormer, a fast-paced vertical scrolling shooter developed by Toplan, which was tentatively titled at the time. The screenshots depict intense shooting action typical of Toplan's style. This game was slated for a spring '94 release, promising high-score challenging gameplay. The page emphasizes these titles as key releases from Tengen. This page is the cover of the magazine, highlighting the February 1994 issue. Featured prominently is a striking red spaceship, signaling a major focus on the upcoming Toplan shooter, Grindstormer, which is listed here under its tentative Japanese title, Sugura Mindo, provisional name. The cover also points to special inserts, including a gauntlet appendix and a new swimsuit poster featuring characters from Wizard. Tenjin Press is highlighted, teasing several new titles. A secret one, a fun one, and the best one, among others. The magazine also features comics based on classic games like Marble Madness, titled Feelings of a Marble, in its 7th installment, and the start of a new series based on Paperboy, titled Newspaper Delivery, Young Champion. The unique feature section delves into the social side of gaming, humorously asking if you can get a girlfriend by playing Davis Cup tennis. It offers advice on inviting people to play doubles, skillfully letting opponents win in versus matches, and even provides 100 excuses for losing badly. This cover promises a mix of exciting new game reveals and lighthearted features. This page showcases the popular anime and manga series Yu Yu Hakusho, featuring a large illustration of the main protagonists, Yusuke Urameshi, Kazuma Kuwabara, Hiei, and Kurama. The central focus is the Mega Drive game, Yu Yu Hakusho, Gaiden. This title presents an original story set just before the iconic Dark Tournament arc. Players will guide the spirit detectives as they face an unexpected crisis threatening the human world, leading them on a journey into the demon world for intense action battles against new foes. The game promises a shocking action experience. It was slated for release on January 28th, priced at 8,800 yen. Small screenshots give a glimpse of the gameplay. The page also includes an advertisement for the Mega Drive 2 console, highlighting its compact size and 16-bit power. Available for 12,800 yen. Publication details for the February 1994 issue of BeepMD are also present.